but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Abba only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay, set apart, you know that. Covered like a flow man. You can never steal this treasure. That's on low jack. Torah hidden in my heart with the Basora. Shabbat approaching, sun down like the menorah. I've been patiently waiting, making righteous moves. Life and death is the choice, and you got a right to choose. You got a right to the tree of life in the living waters. Y'all got a plan to come and rescue all the sons and daughters righteous men. I'm off of social media, I need a break. Social distance from sin, I keep it safe. Down into the waters with my eyes open. Before I hit the waters, I was wide open. Come up out the waters, the sky open. Riding back to Texas, my mind focused. All day supplications, they never cease. I face facts and I face the east. Bring us back to you at a night, and we will return. Bring us back to you at a night, renew our days as of old. Bring us back to you at a night, and we will return. Bring us back to you at a night, renew our days as of old. Hated on the lodo, murdered by the popo, treated unfairly while the world steal your mojo. Tears in my prayers, praying for guidance as I walk in the room full of cold-hearted stares. Weight heavy on me, feel the pressure, put time in the scriptures, go extra. Folks say they know the word, but don't live it. But if you knew better, you do better. I give all praises to the Most High, cause he saved me. Yeah, he picked up this reprobate mind and he changed me. Let the world say whatever they want, it don't faze me. I was mentally enslaved, locked down, I was caged in. I'm set apart, now I'm living Torah. Got a clean slate, drove home in between states in a dream state. 12 tribes, one nation. No, it's not a cult. In season, out of season. Who needs salt? Me. Bring us back to you at a night, and we will return. Bring us back to you at a night, renew our days as of old. My heart is stirred with a good word. I speak my verses to the king. My tongue is the pen of a skillful writer. Abba Yah, a consuming fire, and he made me a fighter. Overturn the tables of the money changers. His sheep hear his voice and ignore the stranger. Man don't live by bread alone. Fighting giants, 5 smooth stones. Picked up my Bible, put that phone down. Ruach in my Ruach, yeah, it's on now. Put time in the scriptures, going extra. Set apart the mode, kingdom goes forever. And Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. And all these things are the beginning of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall be many offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved.
I'm just talking. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. That was my Ak Imanon Yasharala. Um, y'all willing, you will see him at the Hebron Men's Gathering on the microphone, be the MC, Master of Ceremonies, you know. Um, Also, y'all willing, you'll see myself and my brother Kafer as well. You know, see us down there giving love and just enjoying being around our brethren. So, you know, Shabbat Shalom, this is part 2 of the reading of the Book of Jasher. Um, I was supposed to have read 23 through 27, but I didn't take into account how much I like to talk. And you know, I should have broken it up, but here we are for another segment. Probably still ain't gonna get to 27, but we're gonna cover as much as we can today. Brother Kafer, how you doing, brother?
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. I'm doing, man. I'm grateful and thankful to be alive, man. In these times, man, you know, about to see the Most High Yah do a mighty move on behalf of His people that trust in Him, man. And I'm just, you know, it's the best. It's barakah, bro. Really.
Hallelujah. Throughout the scripture, man, time and time again, the Most High really loves it when His people trust in Him and show that they really mean what they mouths say, and they really put their faith where their mouth is. You know what I'm saying? And every time we see it displayed, we see him come and bring gifts and bring esteem to these people who do it. You know, um, which is much needed to learn from in these times where it's so much doubt and so much, you know, I don't know and I don't really think. You know how people talk, man. Just, you know, all manner of excuses of why not to do a difficult thing. But time and time again in the scripture, we see our ancestors persevering through it, you know, as did our father Abraham do with attempting to take his only begotten son of Sarah, right? He had another son, but that was the doing of Sarah and her midwife to, you know, to try to go around what y'all had said. You know, she thought instead of her being the actual vessel that the child come through, that she would be the influence, you know, like through me giving you this, you gonna have the child, you know. But Yah is exact in his words. You know, he tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Like Hamashiach said, had it not been so, he would have told you. And he said, by Sarah, you're gonna have this child. So, you know, Isaac is the promise.
Right.
You know? And so he took Isaac and was fully prepared because Yah told him to sacrifice him against Satan's devices to try to stop him, try to hold him back, to try to veer him off in another direction. He endured through all that, you know, and I just felt like that was a powerful, powerful, powerful lesson. What you think about that? You was a part of that this morning, checking it out.
Yeah, man. It's man, look, it's all about trusting and walking in obedience toward what Abba said, despite what it looks like, what it sounds like. You can't let nobody get you off that path. And we see Hasatan being the adversary, stepping up on the scene in different forms, right, to try to get him to deter from the way that the Most High told him to walk and told him to do. And we can't do that. That's why you said you hit it right on the head, to let people know, man, you got to stay firm in your trusting in what Abba told you to do. You got to keep his, like how Michael X said when it's time to defend us, he said, by any means necessary. You better obey what Abba Yah say do, because that's for your well-being. And that's just the facts. So, you know, and we see how he Baruch, we see, and even that, the chain of command when Father Abraham told Mother Sarah, man, he told her, and even her son, even our forefather Yitzchak, told her to stay at home, right? Told her to stay there until we return, right? There was words that were not right there, though. She didn't listen. She let the situations and circumstances deter her from the command that was given by her husband and her son, her beloved son.
Listen, we can learn from that. Like, that's why you have to be careful who you marry, women. Because the office of a man In his home is like the office of the Most High. In his home, he's king, he's the power. And his decrees are as the decrees of the Most High. They're supposed to be followed. That's why you got to make sure you marry a righteous man, you marry a good man. Because them offices don't change. You know, just like when you tell your children something, that's your office as a mother. And you expect them to follow it because they're the child, you the mother.
That's right.
Now, you're not a child in that regard, but you are a person that comes under the full authority of a man when you marry him. When you giving him authority over you. But in return for that, there's always an exchange. The problem is women are marrying men that they don't get nothing from being with these men besides some penis. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, it's supposed to come with, you know, a home, with security, with guidance, you know, with protection, right? And for getting that, he's supposed to get the authority. You know, his word's supposed to be law in his home. So Abraham deserved all that. So what he said should have went. She should have waited. And when you get a man like this that lives in a way pleasing to the Most High, he tells you do something, you go against it, you got to pay for that. Just like you got to pay for going against what the Most High said.
That's right.
Now, oftentimes we see in the scripture where people go against these righteous men, and these righteous men pray for them that the curse and the destruction come off of them. You know, we see that with Reuben in the scripture. He was struck and sick for sleeping with Jacob's wife. Jacob had to pray for him. You know, just different scenarios where, you know, Joseph, he had to pray for his brothers and all that, keep harm off of them. It's just a lot of Hamashiach, forgive them because I know not what they do. All that, right? But anyway, yeah, man. Let's get into it. We got plenty more. The scripture's full of lessons, man. It's living word. So let's get on into that thing.
Let us eat. That's right. Let's get it out.
We in chapter 24 of the Book of Jasher. All right. Oh, we got plenty of verses in this thing here. And the life of Sarah was 127 years. And Sarah died, and Abraham rose up from before his dead to seek a burial place to bury his wife Sarah. And he went and spoke to the children of Heth, the inhabitants of the land.
Real quick. I want the people to share know this, right? They said Sarah was 127 years, right? Sarah had Yitzhak. How old was she? 90?
90.
So she died at 127 years.
He was not young then. For some reason in my mind, I feel like he was like 12 or 13. So I have to correct myself. I said he was a youth. Right. He was not a youth. He was at least 37 years old. 37 years old at that time.
Hallelujah.
And look, the man ain't been married yet. That's something we got to understand too, that this whole young marriage thing was not a thing with our people. You know, it took a man getting seasoned, but too, they didn't plan on dying at 60 and 70 years old like we do today.
Right, like we do today. Everything was different. Real quick, everything, like the order and everything, like say for instance, how people be marrying, a lot of stuff would be avoided if everything was in its rightful order the way it was. If fathers took care of their children and the daughters lived in their father's house and respected their father, and then the man had to go and meet the father and go through that whole process to get a bride price to his daughter, everything would be ordered, because especially in righteousness, because she would see that as a daughter, as a woman in the house of her father, the orchestration of a man and how he move and how he do. So when it was time for transference of power from the father to the husbandman to be, she would know her role as a woman because she was trained up in her father's household,
right?
Doing duties that is prevalent, is becoming for a woman. You see what I'm saying? See, but in today's time, we live in a harlot society that don't have no love, no rule, no respect and honor. And then not only that, parents are not, you got parents, single parents raising children, women raising women without the guidance of a man, without the righteous guidance of a righteous man that follows the righteous ways of the Most High Yah, right? And And so you got this production that been produced and perpetuated from time to time because of these things that's going on. But all the steam to Yahweh that he's getting us back in order and following Yah's ways. So hallelujah, hallelujah.
And you know, for our sisters out there, we don't want to feel them to feel attacked, right? But the men as well, it is an imbalance on both sides.
Facts.
Right? But
Facts.
all praises to the Most High Yah that he has given us an example in his scriptures, that through the Ruach we start to see, you know, manly attributes in the scripture by Yah, by Hamashiach, by all of our elders, and now we pattern ourselves after these things. You know, it's his Ruach going forth that's causing correction.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't be accredited to no man. We can't say no man bought us, because for all intents and purposes, we was destroyed. We was desolate. And it was his Ruach that came and woke up the sleepy and built the broken. You know, so all praises, man. It's beautiful, because we see how far we are removed from our ancestors. But yet now we starting to get a lot of their attributes, but it's by getting an understanding of the scriptures, not by seeing our parents do it, not by seeing it on TV, because we don't see the Hebraic way anywhere besides it in the scriptures. You know, so anyway, let's continue. I am a stranger and a sojourner with you in your land. Give me a possession of a burial place in your land, that I may bury my dead from before me. And the children of Het said unto Abraham, behold, the land is before thee. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead, for no man shall withhold thee from burying thy dead. See, he don't want to bury her with they people. He want his own thing. And Abraham said unto them, if you are agreeable to this, go and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zochar, requesting that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which is in the end of his field, and I will purchase it of him for whatever he desire of it. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and they went and called for him. And he came before Abraham, and Ephron said unto Abraham, behold, all thou requirest thy servant will do. And Abraham said, no, but I will buy the cave and the field which thou hast for value, in order that it may be for a possession of a burial place forever. So I want it to be mine. Now, I don't want no loan. I don't want no partial payment. I want it to be me. I want to sign papers on this thing. And Ephron answered and said, behold, the field and the cave are before thee. Give whatever thou desirest. And Abraham said, only at full value will I buy it from thy hand, and from the hands of those that go in at the gate of thy city, and from the hand of thy seed forever. So, man, this thing gonna be mine forever. And Ephron and all his brethren heard this, and Abraham weighed to Ephron 400 shekels of silver in the hands of Ephron and in the hands of all his brethren. And Abraham wrote this transaction, and he wrote it and testified with 4 witnesses. Now, this is a lot of money, 400 shekels. How much is the standard price for a wife? How many shekels is it?
You know what? To be honest with you, I don't know. I know it depends on whatever the father say. So I don't know. I don't know the bride price of. It depends on whatever the bride price is set by the father. By the, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was around 50 shekels. Somewhere in there.
I don't know.
I had spoke to an elder, and I think he said 30 shekels is around $20,000 today's money with inflation and all that, right? So say it is, say 30 shekels is $20,000 today. 400 shekels is got to be a couple million, ain't it? Because 20 times 10 is 200. Anyway, it's a lot of money. Abraham had plenty of paper. And he still had some left after this. And these are the names of the witnesses. Ammiel, son of Abishna, the Hittite. Adikoram, son of Ashunach, the Hivite. Abdon, son of Akram, the Gomerite. Bakdil, son of Abudish, the Zidonite. And Abraham took the book of the purchase and placed it in his treasures. And these are the words that Abraham wrote in the book, namely, that the cave and the field Abraham brought from Ephron the Hittite, and from his seed, and from those that go out of his city, and from their seed forever, are to be a purchase to Abraham, and to his seed, and to those that go forth from his loins, for a possession of a burial place forever. And he put a signet to it, and testified it with witnesses. And the field and the cave that was in it, and all that place that were sure unto Abraham and unto his seed after him from the children of Heth, behold, it is before Mamre in Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. And after this, Abraham buried his wife Sarah there, and that place and all its boundary became to Abraham and unto his seed for possession of a burial place. And Abraham buried Sarah with pomp, as observed at the interment of kings, and she was buried in very fine and beautiful garments. And at her bier was Shem, his sons Eber and Abimelech, together with Anar, Ashkol, and Mamre, and all the grandees of the land followed her bier. And the days of Sarah were 127 years, and she died, and Abraham made a great and heavy mourning, and he performed the rites of mourning for 7 days. I need to look into that because I have no idea what that is, the rites of mourning. Do you know? I
know, but I don't know either.
Hello?
Did you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said I don't know. I don't know what that is either. The rite of mourning. The rites of mourning.
Yeah.
The ceremonies of mourning. Rituals of mourning.
And all the inhabitants of the land comforted Abraham and Isaac his son on account of Sarah. And when the days of their mourning passed by, Abraham sent away his son Isaac, and he went to the house of Shem and Eber to learn the ways of Yah and his instruction. And Abraham remained there 3 years. At that time, Abraham rose up with all his servants, and they went and returned homeward to Beersheba. And Abraham and all his servants remained in Beersheba. A couple minutes away from Salt Community, where the Hebron men's gathering is a place called Beersheba Springs.
Sure, right.
You know, it's crazy. It's very crazy.
And also, real quick, I want to add too, Tennessee in the native tongue means little meeting place.
Wow, I did not know that. That's crazy, man. Y'all better get down there to the Hebron men's gathering. Quit playing. It might be, you know, speaking in tongues and whatnot going on up there on the mountain. You never know. At the revolution of the year, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, died in that year. He was 193 years old at his death, and Abraham went with his people to the land of the Philistines, and they comforted the whole household and all his servants. And he then turned and went home. And it was after the death of Abimelech that the people of Gerar took Ben-Melech, his son, and he was only 12 years old, and they made him lying in the place of his father. And they called his name Abimelech, after the name of his father, for thus was it their custom to do in Gerar. And Abimelech reigned instead of Abimelech his father, and he sat upon his throne. And Lot, the son of Haran, also died in those days, in the 39th year of the life of Isaac. And all the days that Lot lived were 140 years, and he died. Oh, 140. And these are the children of Lot that were born to him by his daughters. The name of the firstborn was Moab, and the name of the second was Benami. They don't talk about Benami. They say Moab and Ammon, ain't it, Doc?
I believe so, man. We got to double check that and see. I think it's Ammon. Yeah, Moab and Ammon. But that's my first time really hearing Benami, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And the two sons of Lot went and took themselves wives from the land of Canaan, and they bare children to them. And the children of Moab were Ed, Maon, Tarsus. It's a lot of prophecies about Tarsus, and Canville. 4 sons. These are fathers to the children of Moab unto this day. And all the families of the children of Lot went to dwell wherever they should light upon, for they were fruitful and increased abundantly. And they went and built themselves cities in the land where they dwelt, and they called the names of the cities which they built after their own names. And Nahor, the son of Terah, brother to Abraham, died in those days, in the 40th year of the life of Isaac. And all the days of Nahor were 172 years, and he died and was buried in Haran. And when Abraham heard that his brother was dead, he grieved sadly, and he mourned over his brother many days. And Abraham called for Eleazar, his head servant, to give him orders concerning his house, and he came and stood before him. And Abraham said to him, Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death, for I am advanced in days. Now therefore rise up, go forth, and do not take a wife for my son from this place and from this land, from the daughters of the Canaanites amongst whom we dwell. See, he understood there was a curse about the Canaanites. That's what happened when you go and spend time with the elders like Shem and Eber. You know, Shem knew. Yep. Shem knew his nephew was done.
He was there. He was there when his father pronounced the curse.
Yeah, he told him, don't mess with them Canaanites. Don't do it. You're gonna curse your seed. But go to my land and to my birthplace, and take from thence a wife for my son. And the Adonijah of Shamaim and the Arats, who took me from my father's house and brought me to this place, and said unto me, To thy seed will I give this land for an inheritance forever. He will send his malach before thee, and prosper thy way, that thou mayest obtain a wife for my son from my family and from my father's house. See, this is where Abraham is trusting in the fact he know the Most High is good for his word, right? He know he good for his words. He's like, I'm finna die. And Isaac is the promise. So all these descendants and all this beautiful stuff he talking about my children having, gonna have to come through Isaac. So Isaac got to get a wife. And I'm sending you to go get him a wife. And if the Most High is true to his word, which he is, then your way gonna be prosperous.
That's right.
Ain't no way you're gonna come back here without a wife. Mm-hmm. See? Many of us need to work on having this kind of faith in past revelations that pertain to the future, and having confidence that it'll be carried through. He have no doubt in his mind. This ain't no maybe. He said his malach will go before thee and prosper thy way, that thou mayest obtain a wife for my son. I just want to point that out.
Hallelujah.
And the servant answered his master Abraham and said, Behold, I go to thy birthplace and to thy father's house, and take a wife for thy son from there. But if the woman be not willing to follow me, see, this is where people that ain't got your calling, that ain't got your understanding, they gon' doubt. That's what they do. They ain't been through what you've been through. They don't have the trust that you have, but you got to understand that. You can't get frustrated. You know, you just have to understand that they're not going to see things how you see things. Listen at them. But if the woman be not willing to follow me to this land, shall I take thy son back to the land of thy birthplace? And Abraham said unto him, Take heed that thou bring not my son hither again, for Yah, before whom I have walked, he will send his malach before thee and prosper thy way. Well, here he's saying, I guess, yeah, take my son with you. Hold on.
Basically, what he's saying, basically what he's saying is, look, don't bring him back here again. Take him. The malach is gonna prosper the way. He gonna get his wife. Take him. He got to, because he got to fulfill the prophecy, and he didn't have too many experience with the Most High Yah to know that Yah is true, and it's gonna happen. That's basically what he's saying if you look at it.
Hallelujah. And Eleazar did as Abraham ordered him, and Eleazar swore unto Abraham his master upon this matter. And Eleazar rose up and took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and 10 men from his master's servants with him. And they rose up and went to Haran. You see, they always got some soldiers. They always got mighty men with them, man. Ain't nobody rolling around by themselves. Even the prophets had mighty men with them. Because they'd have certain people, they'd be like, grab him, snatch him up, go get him. And they do it. You always need men of war with you, man. All this old pray about it, it's going to be all right stuff, man. People didn't move like that. This is just in case you have trouble on the road. Because everybody ain't for all that. Some people got to be made examples of, man. You know, and you got to have men ready to make that example. You might have to be ready to make that example. You know? So, man, he got 10 men of his master servants. Even on the walk to go sacrifice Isaac, Abraham had other men with him who was ready. And keep soldiers, man.
Got to stay ready.
Got to keep men of war with you, man. Look, they talk about leave room for jello. You got to leave room for war too. Leave a little bit. Hopefully you don't need it. You got to leave it there. And they rose up and went to Haran, and the city of Abraham and Nahor, in order to fetch a wife for Isaac, the son of Abraham. And whilst they were gone, Abraham sent to the house of Shem and Eber, and they brought from thence his son Isaac. And Isaac came home to his father's house to Beersheba, whilst Eleazar and his men came to Haran. So no, he didn't go out.
Say it again.
That's what I get from this.
Yeah. Eleazar didn't go. No. The thing was, Eleazar was asking when he get a wife, right? Do I need it? If she don't go with me, should I go back? Should I take him back to the home? Yeah, we know that Yitzhak didn't go down to the what's called. Eleazar went by himself and made that prayer to Abba, for the woman, that Yah picked. Let her be the one to bring water to my camel and give me water, and that's to be the one. You know what I mean? Isaac wasn't there because when you read the storyline on that when he was coming back with Yitzhak, Rebecca seeing Yitzhak afar off, was like, who was that? She said, that's my master's son. That's him. Then she covered herself, and then he met her, got her, and then they went to his mother's house, his mother's tent. Yeah.
Isaac came home to his father's house to Beersheba, whilst Eleazar and his men came to Haran, and they stopped in the city by the watering place, and he made his camels to kneel down before the water, and they remained there. And Eleazar, Abraham's servant, prayed and said, O Yah of Abraham, my master. Well, mighty one of Abraham, my master. Send me, I pray thee, good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master, that thou shalt appoint this day a wife for my master's son from his family. And Yah hearkened unto the voice of Eleazar. I'm not sure if he's a Hebrew or what, but you know, whoever he is, Yah hearkened unto his voice.
Why though? I was gonna say the reason why Yah hearkened to Eleazar is because it was on behalf of his servant Abraham, for him to be successful in that. That's why he hearkened. It wasn't that he was just hearkening for no reason. It was hearkening because it was the plan of Yah for Father Abraham, for him to have a wife for his son so the seed can continue.
Right.
Yeah.
For the sake of his servant Abraham, and he happened to meet with the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, brother to Abraham, and Eleazar came to her house, and Eleazar related to them all his concerns, and that he was Abraham's servant, and they greatly rejoiced at him, and they all baruched Yah, who brought this thing about, and they gave him Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, for a wife for Isaac. And the young woman was of very comely appearance. She was a virgin, and Rebekah was 10 years old in those days. And Bethuel and Laban and his children made a feast on that night, and Eleazar and his men came and ate and drank and rejoiced there on that night. And
yeah. Real quick, just to go back and fast forward, because I know it was seemed like some little confusion back then. When Eleazar was talking to Father Abraham, real quick, because I just got this. When Abraham was talking to Father Abraham, when Eleazar was talking to Father Abraham about should he bring Yitzhak to Father Abraham's birthplace, they was in a place where Most High put them. Where they was in the Promised Land at that time. That's not the birthplace of Father Abraham. The birthplace of Father Abraham was a different place. So Eleazar was asking him, "Do you want me to take him back to your birthplace if she don't come?" He said, "No, you don't go back there." Remember, Father Abraham left from there because that was going on. Remember that time when, you know, his father was there and he had all them idols and stuff like that, and he destroyed them idols and everything. Right. And then, you know, that was the birthplace where he was at, right? And he had to leave there, leave your father's house. Remember, he had to leave that house and go to the place that Yah showed him. So that's what came to me. Yah brought that, allowed that to come to me to make clarity on where the birthplace was. It wasn't where Father Abraham and Mother Sarah was at that present time before you know, the death of Mother Sarah and you know, for Father Abraham was. So that's a different place. That was the land of Canaan, the promised land where they was at that point, at that moment. So Eliezer asked a specific question: should I take them back to your home place, basically to your birthplace? He said no. You know, so that's why now it makes sense when you put it all together like that. You get it?
All right. Yeah.
All right.
And Eleazar rose up in the morning, he and the men that were with him. And he called to the whole household of Bethuel, saying, "Send me away, that I may go to my master." And they rose up and sent away Rebekah and her nurse, Deborah, the daughter of Uz, and they gave her silver and gold, men servants and maid servants, and they baruched her. And they sent Eleazar away with his men, and the servants took Rebekah and went and returned to his master to the land of Canaan. And Isaac took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he brought her into the tent. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of his uncle Bethuel, for a wife. "25. And it was at that time that Abraham again took a wife in his old age, and her name was Keturah, from the land of Canaan. And she bare unto him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Midianites, cousins, Ishbak, Shuach, being 6 sons, and the children of Zimran, and Abihin, and Molik, and Narim. And the sons of Jokshan were Sheba, queen of Sheba." See, it's a place. "And Dedan. And the sons of Medan were Amida, Joab, Gochi, Elisha, and Nothek, and the sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Chanok, Abida, Eldaha. And the sons of Ishbak were Makiro, Biyodua, and Tater.
Not Tater.
Tater. And the sons of Shuach were Bildad, Mamdad, Munan, and Meban. All these are the families of the children of Keturah, the Canaanitish woman. Whoa, Abraham. The Canaanitish woman which she bare unto Abraham the Hebrew. They wanted to point that out, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham sent all these away, and he gave them gifts. And they went away from his son Isaac to dwell wherever they should find a place. And all these went to the mountain of the east, and they built themselves 6 cities in which they dwelt unto this day. But the children of Sheba and Dedan, children of Jokshan, and their children did not dwell with their brethren in their cities. And they journeyed and encamped in the countries and wildernesses unto this day. And the children of Midian, son of Abraham, went to the east of the land of Cush, and they there found a large valley in the eastern country, and they remained there and built a city, and they dwelt therein. That is the land of Midian unto this day. And Midian dwelt in the city which he built, he and his 5 sons, and all belonging to him. And these are the names of the sons of Midian according to their names in their cities: Ephah, Epher, Chanuk, Abida, and Eldaha. And the sons of Ephah were Methach, Misha, Avi, Tazanua. And the sons of Epher were Ephron, Zur, Eliron, and Medan. And the sons of Chanuk were Ruel, Rekem, Azi, Alioshub, and Alad. And the sons of Abida were Chur, Melud, Karuri, Mulchi. And the sons of Eldaha were Meker and Reba and Melchiah, and Gabal. These are the names of the Midianites according to their families, and afterward the families of Midian spread throughout the land of Midian. And these are the generations of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, whom Hagar, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And Ishmael took a wife from the land of Egypt, and her name was Ribah. The same is Mariba. And Ribah bare unto Ishmael Nabaioth, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, and their sister Bosmath. And Ishmael cast away his wife Ribah, and she went from him and returned to Egypt, to the house of her father, and she dwelt there, for she had been very bad in the sight of Ishmael and in the sight of his father Abraham. And Ishmael afterward took a wife from the land of Canaan, and her name was Malkuth, and she bare unto him Nishma, Duma, Massa, Chedad, Tema, Yetur, Naphish. These are all Hebrew names, by the way. This is a Hebrew name we know. Naphish and Malkuth and Kedma. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, being 12 princes, according to their nations. And the families of Ishmael afterward spread forth, and Ishmael took his children and all the property that he had gained together with the souls of his household and all belonging to him, and they went to dwell there where they should find a place. And they went and dwelt near the wilderness of Paran, and their dwelling was from Havilah unto Shur. that is, before Egypt, as thou comest toward Assyria. And Ishmael and his sons dwelt in the land, and they had children born to them, and they were fruitful and increased abundantly. And these are the names of the sons of Nabayot, the firstborn of Ishmael, Mind, Sind, and Mayon. And the sons of Kedar were Alion, Kazim, Shemad, and Eli. And the sons of Adbil were Chemad and Jabin. And the sons of Mipsam were Obadiah, Abed Melech, and Yeush. These are the families of the children of Ribah, the wife of Ishmael, and the sons of Mishma, the son of Ishmael, were Shemua, Zacharion. That's a pretty name right there. I kind of like that. I have another son. He might be Zacharion. And Obed. And the names of Duma were Kazed, Eli, Machmad, and Ahmed. Yeah. And the sons of Massa were Malon, Mula, Abad,
Abidadon.
Abidadon.
Mhm.
Abidadon. The sons of Chadad were Azur, Minzer, and Abedmelech.
Mhm.
And the sons of Timah were Seir, Sidon, and Yakul. And the sons of Yetur were Marit, Yaish, Alio, Pakas. And the sons of Naphish were Ebed, Tamid, Abi, Yasuf, and Mir. And the sons of Kedma were Kalip, Takti, Omer. These were the children of Malkuth, the wife of Ishmael, according to their families. And all these are the families of Ishmael according to the generation, and they dwelt in those lands wherein they had built themselves cities unto this day. And Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the wife of Abraham's son, was barren in those days, and she had no offspring. And Isaac dwelt with his father in the land of Canaan, and Yah was with Isaac. And Arpachshad, the son of Shem, the son of Noah, died in those days, in the 48th year of the life of Isaac. And all the days that Arpachshad lived were 438 years, and he died. This is the grandfather of the, I want to say either the Persians or the Assyrians. One of the two. Could be both. They could be his sons, the people that went and started them. But anyway, let's continue. And in the 59th year of the life of Isaac, the son of Abraham, Rebekah, his wife, was still barren in those days. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, truly I have heard, my Adon, that thy mother Sarah was barren in her days, until my Adon Abraham, thy father, prayed for her, and she conceived by him. Now, therefore, see, Adon is master. Now, Sarah called Abraham Adon. She called him master. Here we have Rebekah calling Isaac master, right? It's the office, and they meant that. They would treat them how they would treat a master. You know, it was a question said, women, how do you feel a man should be treated? They was talking to women, but I felt like I should put some out there. I said, he should be treated like your supervisor at work. You don't talk back to your supervisor at work. He tell you to do something, you go and you do it.
I mean,
That's
some
part of
people might though, but let I said some people might now.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, but let me land back with you real quick. I want to share this, man. It's not a put down or a clown or whatever. It's really to help. It's a sister, a beloved sister out there that be preaching and teaching or whatever, sharing the word or whatever, biblical tea, right? She said something in regards of, call no man master, right? Because Mashiach is master, right? That word that Mashiach said, he said, call no man rabbi. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Rabbi. He didn't say Adon, call no man Adon. We all know that if that was the case, Father would have corrected Father Abraham and Yitzhak and all that and tell him don't do such. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that Adon is a different title or a different office than a rabbi. We have one rabbi, which is the great teacher, which is the great one, which is the Mashiach, Yahushua. You know what I mean? Call no man that. He said that specifically. He didn't say master. He didn't say Adon. He said rabbi. You know what I mean? So it's what it is a getting a clear view, a comprehension of what these words mean, and then having discernment to differentiate the difference between the words. You get what I'm saying? So we have to be taught correctly, so we won't misquote and by default mislead through misunderstandings. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I want to share real quick though. It's all love to my sister though, because she passionate. I hear her, man. She passionate, but hey, we got a lot of us got a lot of zeal for the Most High Yah, but not according to knowledge. You got to get their knowledge correct. That's part of it. People act as if the knowledge ain't a part of the root of the spirit, of the fruit of the root. You know what I mean? That's one of when you go to Yashayahu real quick. I'm be brief. It said that Mashiach was anointed with the root of Yahweh, and also those attributes that came with those eyes is knowledge is one of them. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that with the peoples, man. Share that with my loved ones, with the loved ones.
And too, man, hold on. Let's we need to look at the people right here. We need to talk to them about something. Listen, man. The Western culture, Western mindset, Western way of looking at things, it's an abomination. You gotta understand it. It's an abomination. It is against, yes, 12 tribes chart is fake. FBA woman. 12 tribes chart is fake, yeah. But this whole mindset of equality, as far as power and authority in the marriage and all that, it's not. And it to say it sounds like it's harsh. But you look at the scripture, you don't see a major role with the women like that. It's only a couple circumstances where they stand up, right? With 66 books, the 14, all the other books you add them in, you don't see the women stepping out in front unless they got a particular job to do. Reason you don't hear about them like that, because it's not really about them. It's about the men. When certain women hear that, they think, oh, now, see, my God, and but listen, it's a reason you think like that. They want you to think like that. You don't just think like that about that. You think like that about everything. You want to get in front of the man in certain situations because you feel like you can do what a man can do. You could do that. Thought in itself is an abomination. Any women in the scripture, when a real man stepped up, they'd sit down. They sit down. And they did it knowing because that's their role. It's only with the Western mindset that a woman wants to get completely in front of the man. And we have it to where men allow it. So what's happening is real men are marrying women and getting in their rightful place, and they're getting back and forth. And the women like, well, see, when I was with so-and-so, he was cool with it. My mama, my sisters, they ain't like that. You know why? Because your mama and your sisters ain't got no Hebrew man either. It just don't go together. Now that don't mean the man should be a tyrant and tie my shoes up and do just out of the ordinary stuff. We talking about ruling righteously. We talking about being just, right? And doing everything that comes with the office of being a man. But you gonna hinder that. You gonna grieve him by fighting and doing all this whole extra. And you calling good evil when you do that. You call him good evil. When a man want to step in his place, he want to take control. He want to, guide his household and lead his household in a certain way. First of all, you signed up for that. When you married him, you signed up for that. Now, if y'all got married and y'all went in the truth and all that, irregardless, what the scriptures call a husband, that's what you signed up for. When you said you're going to get married, that's the office of marriage. Just because it don't happen in America and all the other countries, that's how it is. You go to Africa, that's how it is. You go to the, Middle East, you go to Japan and China and all that, that's how they live. They women ain't doing no back talking and no all that old stuff. What their husbands say is law. It's only in America and only in Europe where their men put on dresses and high heel shoes and shit and want to be women. They want to pervert the real. They brought us over here and perverting us to be perverted like them. They perverted. They don't know about a masculine man because they're not masculine men. Now, granted, that's not all white people, because it's some country boys. There's some, what I'm saying? It's some people that they masculine too. They men's men too, right? But wherever you find that, you find where they women let them have that. It's only our women that buck and other nations that act like our women that buck. Bucking is an abomination. You want to speak on that?
You said it. I'm listening. I'm in agreement. Bucking is an abomination. Ain't no nug if you buck around here. Bucking is an abomination. No,
it's an abomination, man.
That's
love our sisters and the good brothers, because I know it's people who abuse. I know it's people who abuse their authority, who abuse their office, and it's sisters that really want to submit, that really want to serve, that is, with some brothers that's not operating in his office properly. But what you do is you continue to be a righteous woman and pray for him.
Right.
And if you're righteous, the Most High gonna either correct him or remove him.
That's
that don't
right.
change the fact that it's still supposed to go how it's supposed to go.
All right, let me share that. Let me land back with you, man. Let me give you a good example. Let's talk about Abigail and her husband. Right? On the level in regards of the Most High can either correct them to get them straight or remove them. We see that. We see he got Abba took him out. That's all it is to it. Like you said, I'm glad you brought out that it's not for a man to be a tyrant, and that's a fact, not to be a lion in your home. We shouldn't have to, but we will and shall, if need be, have to fully, thoroughly explain what we not to do and what we to do when we speak on situations such as this. Like, say, for instance, a righteous man, you got to hear key word, a righteous man that want to be that desire to be in the position of a husband, to walk accordingly to all the ways of the Most High. It shouldn't have to be explained that, that don't mean he gonna be a turn, because he's not gonna be that. He's not gonna be a what's that word? Help me out.
A tyrant.
A tyrant.
A tyrant.
He's not gonna be a tyrant. You see what I'm saying? No. Why do people get the idea that when it's about woman being submissive to a righteous man, it got to be he's he can't be a tyrant. He just can't do anything. Ain't nobody saying do anything. First of all, if he's a man after Yah's own heart, he ain't gonna do anything. He gonna do Yah's way. That's all it is to it. Now, this society, and people don't even know how much program they really programmed.
Talk about it.
in America. Society has programmed people so much that they don't even recognize they program. The women's movement, liberation of women, that word liberation for women and independence, and even songs, INDE, we did this before. Like, come on now. That stuff right there is an abomination, because it gets a person in the mindset of saying, you know what you're basically saying is, forget what Abba Yah talking about. I'm going to do me. You living a life as a rebel. Now we can get back. We can get on the man. We can get on the man all day long too. We speaking on this specific thing right now, right? Because you have to realize the order and the proper way that the Most High created things. He created the woman, took the woman from the man to be a helpmeet to the man. What is hard about that? It wasn't vice versa. Y'all did not take man from the woman to be a helpmeet to her. You get what I'm saying? Women, you meet women today. You know, I don't need no man. What can man do for me? You know what I mean? It ain't for what can man do for you, is what you supposed to do for the man. While he doing what he's supposed to do for you, because it all works together. Now, I probably even got to explain that, because people like to take people's words and twist it and get their own idea about this stuff.
Sensitive, man. We living in these sensitive times where the truth is shunned. People think the persecution is going to come from keeping the commandments. No, the persecution is going to come from telling the truth how it's supposed to be told, man.
That's right.
Because people be believing they in truth, but they really not if they not fitting the book.
Right.
If you bucking, if your husband come home to nagging and arguing and strife when he been busy providing for his family, you know, you're part of the problem. And people need to know that and hear that. You know, look, when Isaiah said there's gonna be 7 women to 1 man, right? We think it's going to be because the men are going to be dead. They are dead to a certain extent, right? We think that's future prophecy. We don't understand that it very well could be right now. And that's not being a physical man. We're talking about being a real man, as the scriptures say. Being a man of righteousness and of justice and of guidance, right? And of wisdom, right? That's why 7 women gonna come, because they're gonna realize the men they with and the people they dealing with, they not that. My man like wearing skinny jeans. My man like, you know what I'm saying? The people they dealing with, they not gonna be satisfied with them, and they're gonna seek out a righteous man. It's gonna be 7 women on them. Come on, listen, man, marry me, take away my reproach. I'm with this, what's old boy, Abigail's husband? What his name was?
Nabal.
I'm with this Nabal ass nigga. Save me. Take away my reproach. I look bad being with this. You get what I'm saying? And they doing that now. It's women, if they could, man. But at the same time, right? We gotta go off facts. We gotta go off, you know, the real thing. And then too, we have to leave room for repentance and for change, right? And that's why these things are coming out, where we trying to give you the book and how it is in the book, and bring it to people who hadn't seen it that way, right? Because you got groups out here teaching, you know, be hard, authority. We're not teaching that. We saying if that man is righteous, if that man qualified, he deserved submission. He reserved going along with what he say. But not so with a wicked man, not so with a man that don't deserve it, who ain't laying the groundwork.
That's right.
Right? You got to ask yourself, if you're a wicked woman with a wicked man, or if you got a wicked man, why that happen? Because it said, listen, a wicked woman be given to a wicked man. You know, so certain things are to prove you and to give you things to grow off of, like, because it's women with husbands that they husbands' difficulty is to teach them patience. And then you got men with wives that their wives' difficulty is to teach them patience and to teach them long suffering. You know, so be about the business of proving that out, working that out first. See if something can be redeemed before you just give up on it. Oh, now he don't want to work. He don't want to do it. I'm just going to give up. No. How about praying for them, instructing them, making your concerns known, and then having some long suffering? Maybe they will change. Maybe they'll wake up one day and say, man, you know what, man? I'm sorry, man. I've been messing up. Let me get myself together. You never know. Now, if you do everything that's supposed to be done and stuff still don't work, then you got to start praying different. You know, then you got to say, get him away from here, please, Abba. Get her away from here. Remove her. Whatever that means. Either she just want to leave on her own, or y'all forbid you got to go somewhere and don't come back. Or however that work, you know. But this is how the Abba moved. She didn't think the ball was going to die, but he had to die to get out of her life. Some people got to die to get out of your life, man. Some people got to remove peaceably or forcibly. But anyway, I just wanted to hit on that, man, because, you know, we see in the scripture the reverence for certain offices, the reverence that she had for her husband, to ask him to go pray for her. She didn't say, oh, I'm a good, righteous woman. I'm going to pray for myself. I got this. No. Say, your father prayed for his wife and she was healed. So you go pray for me. She understood her office as a woman. We don't have that today. We got women that say, I can do it on my own. So you mean to tell me God ain't dealing with me? All this whole thing they be saying. I mean, hey, what the book say? He deal with the men. That's why you got to be connected to a righteous man. I said this, and I got some little flack. I told my baby this, but after I broke it down to her, she understood, man. The Most High don't really deal with women like that. Throughout the scripture, not on no consistent basis of just revealing himself to them like that. It's times where he do it. He give them prophecy. He give them dreams and all that, right? But what I'm saying is, these women are usually connected to a righteous man. 9 times out of 10, they're connected to a righteous man somewhere. That he's, in turn, dealing with the both of them in such a way. You get what I'm saying? Because that's your covering. He gonna give you a covering, either a husband or a father or an elder. Somebody in your life that's gonna guide you as Yah has guided them. You can't get around the discipline a man is gonna bring. A woman can't be left to herself, to her own devices. It just don't work. It just don't work because they emotional and they see things in certain ways that they would go off and do things in certain ways involving emotion. Whereas a man is going to be about, slow down. Let's think about this completely in long term in all the scenarios. Now, somebody said, well, that ain't how, it's because you messing with some old goof ass niggas. They don't think like that. But you're dealing with a Hebraic man whose heart and mind is on the Most High Yah and on his word. That's how he gonna move. And if you a righteous woman, the Most High is gonna put a man like that in your life to be your covering. He gonna enlighten that man and guide that man, and that man is gonna turn around and enlighten and guide you.
That's right.
Now, that's a bit appeal to you. You just gotta chew that thing up and swallow that thing. I don't know what else to tell you. That's a fact.
You know, people got to face the fact, man, that, you know, people have been left to themselves for such a long time, man, and they think their thoughts and opinions and perspective of things is right and can fool and deceive themselves, right? You know, that's cold. I'm all right. Yeah, he talked to me, you know. Man, he talked to you, right? So he ain't talked to you and told you that JC ain't the name, and he ain't told you that, but he talks to you, you know. I'm just saying, this is just an example. This is just a small example of people need to start just waking up, man. Start listening. Be humble. You know what I mean? And start listening. It's not a bad thing to. Why do it got to be looked as a bad thing to operate in what the Most High created you to function in? If he created you to be, Abba created a chair. A chair is to hold a person. He didn't create a chair to be a bowl to hold food. You get what I'm saying? Everything is created for it with a purpose. And
eyes got to see and feet got to walk.
Ears got to hear, mouth got to talk. Come on now, this is yeah. So we
eyes can't be trying to walk.
Yeah,
oh, but I can do it. I know I can do it. No, it's not even meant for you to do it. You don't even have what it takes to do it.
Listen, let me bring this out too. Moshe was Yah's man back in the day, right? Moshe, Yah's man. Abba showed him through Malachi Yahweh to build the tabernacle according to the pattern he's seen in Shemayim. Even allowed him to go in there and put stuff in there. But then when it was completed, he told Moshe he couldn't even go into the Kadash of Kadashim, what people call the Holies of Holies. Only Aaron and his sons can go into the Kadash Kadashim. And this is Father Yah's man that led the children, that he chose to lead the children of Yashal out of Mizraim along with his brother Haran. But he couldn't, when the temple was built, he couldn't even go into the Kadash of Kadashim. Only the Kohen HaGadol, which is what people call high priest, was able to go into that area. Moshe couldn't even go in there. Mm-hmm. And Moshe, do you think Moshe got in his feelings? He didn't get in his feelings. He respected it and obeyed Yah. Didn't do it because if Moshe would have went in there and transgressed Moshe's, you know what would have happened?
Killed and dead. He
would have been dead. Yah's not a respecter of persons, man. He listened to what when Moshe. Let me tell you why. Let me give you another good example. Abba told Moshe to speak to the rock, right? Moshe struck it twice, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And because of that, he wasn't able to go into the land. He was able to go up to the mountains to look over and see it and then die and be gathered to his people, but he wasn't able to go. So this is the thing. When you got a certain role, don't break rank. When you got an order, when Most High has anointed and created you for a specific purpose, walk in that. Don't try to do anybody else. Stay in your lane. Everybody. Men stay in their lane. Women stay in their lane. Children stay in their lane. Everything to work properly so it can be a functioning body the way it's supposed to be. It's only when people break rank and don't fulfill the function that the Most High created them for is when it starts to be chaotic and confusion and a whole bunch of mess. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing wrong with women being women. If you're a woman, that's the Most High pleased to make you a woman. That's just what you are. And you got to fulfill your role as a woman. There's nothing wrong with doing womanly duties because that's what your role is. You be better doing what the Most High calls you to do as a woman and make it in the kingdom than trying to be emotional and like, I can do it on my own and then find yourself in hell because you don't want to obey the Most High Yah's command, but you say you love him. You get what I'm saying? And the man doing the same thing, follow the way the Most High Yah told you to follow and do what you're supposed to do as a man. Every one of us, every last one of us. We got to fulfill the role that the Most High can. We got to do what Yah told us to do and don't bring. I'm just telling you, man. I just wanted to share that, man. We got to get that, man. Nothing wrong with a woman being a woman, man. There's nothing wrong with a man being a man. It's over here in America when it's an abomination for a man to be a man and it's an abomination for a woman to be a woman. That's crazy.
And it's meant for your hurt. You think, listen, women's liberation to a woman, that so-called feel good, they feel empowering, right? It's meant for your destruction. Because while you liberated, right? First of all, your loins gonna need scratching. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need somebody to get in there and handle that. And because you not gonna, a man gonna always be a man. Either he gonna just want you for that, right? And if he only wants you for that, then he ain't gonna put no feeling into you. He ain't gonna put no care into you. You're gonna be for that service. I'm gonna come, I'm gonna handle that, and I'm gonna go. Because you ain't the only one that got that. When a man only want that, he at a buffet. Because there's plenty of it to go around. And our emotions as humans or whatever, you know, we gonna desire a person for hours. We're not gonna want other people to get it. It's like he's not gonna want to know you sleeping with somebody else. Even if he only used you for sex, he don't want to know you sleep with somebody else, and you ain't gonna want to know he's sleeping with somebody else. Whereas you might not do it, he gonna do it for sure. And you know, because you don't have the qualifications of a wife, because you're not looking for the qualifications as a wife, because you're talking about, you know, it's 50-50 and I'm a woman, hear me roar, and my opinion matters and all this old stuff you coming with, Yeah. Right? And he like, man, I ain't got to hear all that over here. Over here it's quiet. Over here it's this, it's that. It's better than what you talking about. All you bringing to the table is some vagina. Because you're not bringing the qualities that endure a man, that care, that love, that reverence and respect. You're not bringing that because you're talking about women's liberation. So that liberation is going to leave you lonely. It's going to leave you unfulfilled because it's in your DNA, innate in you to be a nurturer, to be one that gives off love and affection, but you shunning that for power, for feminine dominance. You shunning your natural, God-given traits as a woman. You shunning that. You taking birth control pills. You got the little ring in you, stopping your periods. All this stuff is nature. And when you go against nature, it's an abomination. So do I need to say that again? I think when you go against nature, it is an abomination. So if it's in your natural, makeup to produce, to be a mother, to be a nurturer, to have a family, and you going against that for your business, for your, for everything of the world, then you, my sister, hey, listen, this gonna hurt a little bit. You, my sister, is an abomination to womanhood. Who taught you had to be on somebody's job for 8 and 12 hours a day? Them 8 and 12 hours you're not spending at home with your children. You're not spending preparing a place for your husband to come home to. He's supposed to be out enduring the hardships of life and the sweat of his brow. True, the Proverbs 31 woman does go and have little side hustles and things to produce for her family. But side hustles. We're not talking about no full-time, no this where your attention going, because your attention is desired other places. When your husband took care of and your children took care of, then you go out and do all this old extra stuff. That's Proverbs 31. I don't know what, man, listen, man. We've been run amok and led astray. That's why these
Now go ahead. I didn't mean to stop you. I was going along with you like bamboozled. You've been bamboozled. Yeah.
That's why these homes is in so much disarray, man. 9 times out of 10, these arguments be about frivolous things. Now, I put it like this. Most arguments is about us as men not considering the plights of our women, And it be like that. I have to catch myself sometimes in that I could get a little careless with that. I feel like I'm going above and beyond, doing all I can to survive. I'm like, man, listen, man, nobody want to hear about no feelings. I'm out here working my fingers to the bone out here. What are you doing? Toughen up. You know what I'm talking about? That's how I be. But I gotta realize that, they nature is to be emotional. Like it's good when it works. Sometimes when their passion is on me, you know what I'm saying? When their passion is about me and their passion get, they want to cook, they want to, put something on me, you know what I'm talking about, in the bedroom. That passion, I love that. But when that passion turns into, you don't listen to me, you don't, just little stuff like that, man. We have to be considerate like Abraham was. We got to know, who we married to, what they into, what they like, and just regard that and be like, you know what, she's not going for this. So I'm not going to put that on her, or she's into this, and just take time out. This is the book. This is righteousness. When you consider Yo, help me. When you consider each other and you do for each other, when you go out of your way as a kindness, right? We got to learn just because we got power, just because we got authority, that don't mean just go without appreciating or showing our appreciation or, humbling ourselves to do a kind gesture to them, to consider them, right? Now, all this is part of it. This is just as much a part as the authority and the power. It's the humbleness and the meekness of, you know what? I ain't took my baby out in a while. Let me get up. I'm tired. I just got out of work. I'm tired. Let me go hop in the shower, get myself together. Me and baby gonna go out. We gonna have a good time. Or baby been with the kids all day. Let me take the kids, babe. Just go out. Here, take my card. Go buy what you want to buy. Go do what you want to do. I got the kids. Just go. That type of stuff. Us as men, we should think to do stuff like that, right? That's that off the table. And if you got a good man, he gonna think like that. Mm-hmm. And if he don't think like that, if he really with the Most High, or you really with the Most High will lighten his heart, just like he lightened Pharaoh's heart. Mm-hmm. Or he gonna bring all them plagues down on him until he start to consider, maybe I need to let these folks go. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he do. I need to let these folks go. And that's what it is, man. We gotta realize that getting this understood is just as much a part of our salvation as putting down pork is, as not celebrating these heathen feast days and all that. Understanding how to deal with each other in a righteous manner. In our home and outside of our home, our brothers and sisters that we meet, having a courtesy, having meekness and humbleness of heart. Even dealing with strangers. Because I know some brothers and sisters, listen, they don't care nothing about no heathens. They know about, the slavery and, heathens in the court system and all this stuff that they do. So they, in turn, say all of them with it. And they don't care about none of them. They ain't going to treat none of them with love and respect. None of them. We can't do that. Right. That's called unjust balance. You got to give unto a man what he's deserving of. If he a wicked man and he deserves punishment, then he gets that. But you got to see that thing through, man. You can't just be, calling out unjust judgments on people. Mm-hmm. And all of this is a part of the walk. It's bigger than just sitting around praying, hooping and hollering, intense study, and the prophecies and all that. All that is cool. Like Hamashiach said, these things you ought not to leave undone. But the weightier matters, don't give up the weightier matters. These the weighty matters. The big two, loving the Most High Yah with all your heart and soul, and treating thy neighbor as thyself. Most actions involve one of those two things. Keeping Christmas, eating pork, all this is going against the Most High Yah. So that's not considering him. Lying, cheating, stealing, murdering, these are things you do to people, which is going against your neighbor. You're not treating them as thyself. So this is a part of the walk. We got to understand, man. Forget what people telling you about worrying about the heathen and all this. Listen. Two things you got to understand. The heathen is only relevant because we wicked. And the Most High never had a problem with the people not keeping feast days, not keeping Shabbat. Because they did that. They did that to look like they was more than what they was. They beat their wives, lied, cheated, and stole, was unjust, took bribes, all that, and then went to the feast day. They did that and then went to Shabbat. He said, listen, I don't really care about y'all keeping feast days and going to Shabbat if this how you gonna be. He said, stop it. What are you doing? Be just, be righteous, feed the poor. He said, man, I don't care nothing about you fasting. What are you doing with that food you're not eating? Are you taking that food you're not eating and giving it to the poor? You fasting for all the wrong reasons, and you're wondering why I'm not with you.
Come on now. Yeah.
So let's not be fooled, man. People is fooled. They telling you're nice because you got your little nice garments, got your nice little jewel. True, I be wearing the chains and all that. These are for sale, by the way. I can make some, but listen, we'll talk about that later. But the fact of the matter is, these character traits is what I work on. That's my walk. Being a brother to my brother. Being kind and courteous out in the streets. I don't concern myself with heavy study and all that. Now, listen, if those that want to do that, that's beautiful, right? But it's like, even a person that don't get all them old extra books, they ain't got the Strong's Concordance, they ain't got the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, they some bum under the damn bridge, sleeping at night. They got the same requirements of being righteous, of loving the Most High Yah with all their heart and soul, and treating their brother as they self. They got that. And they don't need the Zondervan Bible Dictionary to do it either.
Right. To be a loving son to our father and a loving brother to our brothers. Right.
Right. That's what you need. So, that's what we need to concern ourselves with. Not all this other stuff that don't edify, that don't help. That's why we don't have no power in the time of trial and temptation. Because we concerned ourselves with things that don't profit. Feast day ain't finna profit you. What you gonna do when you leave?
The same.
How you gonna treat your wife when y'all in the car on the way home? Have you learned how to deal with her yet? Have you learned how to treat your husband in the car on the way home?
Right.
After you get off from this lesson or whatever lesson you're gonna be on, how you gonna live? How you gonna act?
Right. Come on, man.
Paul said the law is the schoolmaster. What you gonna do at 3 o'clock?
Right. Husband, oh wife, what you gonna do? Oh man, oh woman. This ain't your game. Listen, knowledge is good when it's properly applied. The purpose of learning and gaining knowledge is to apply it so fruit can be produced, right? You can't just have knowledge in and by itself. You got to have knowledge, you got to have understanding, then you got to have wisdom, how to apply that. You got to have all these key elements in order to have a functioning body. Without it, it won't function properly. So what's the purpose of learning? Continue to learn, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. What's the purpose? You want to hear everybody teach and preach and all the scripture, but don't apply nothing. What good is that for you? We heard even in the new read out the show, it says hearing the word doesn't profit. It says, just hearing it don't do anything, but doing it is what profits. Not just hearing it. You can hear it all day long, but if you apply it, it's gonna do you no good. If you got food in there, you hungry, and it's on the stove, and you saying I'm sure it's hungry, and you sitting there and there's food on the stove, and you don't go get it. Ain't nobody here to get it to you. Give it to you. What is that gonna do? Just have knowledge that you got food on the stove and you hungry. Get up and do something. Start doing it. Start applying what you learn. Then you'll be successful. Then it'll be well with you. And even if stuff come your way that's adversarial or whatever, stand. Because it's just a proving to see where you at. What you gonna do? Are you gonna stay the course? Are you gonna turn to the left or the right? After all this knowledge you can attain and gain, what good has it done for you? Is it working? Let's see. Let's put this fire to it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. We want to hear, well done, my good loyal servant. You stay the course. That's what we need to hear. That's what we need to start doing. We need to start applying this instead of trying to listen. Now, what do you think? Trying to figure out all the mysteries of the Shemaim. You ain't even got the foundation of stuff going on, bro. You on mute.
I'm getting a lot of feedback, man. Hey, listen, I heard a lot of that speech you said, but it sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks or something, man. I was like, oh, hold on, man. You go ahead
Bro,
to,
they be hating on my
turn it down
I,
on the TV or something in the back, man.
TV ain't even the volume ain't even up, bro. They be hating
Up.
on my end, bro. I'm telling you, man.
It's cool now. You cool now.
Oh, it's cool now. After all
Yeah.
that was said, it come.
Okay.
What I've said, I'm gonna sum it up. What I said is, everybody want to know the mysteries of Shamayim, right? That's going back.
Right.
What's the point? People are gaining all this knowledge, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. What you learn, start applying it. What's that song? Hallelujah, hallelujah. He was saying he learned, he studied the word, meditate, Selah, then he get up and apply it and walk in it. You see what I'm saying? Now, I paraphrase this as his verse, but that's the gist of it. He studied,
Right.
but he got the knowledge. He Selah, meditated on it. And with the meditation come understanding, because you seeking, and then you get up and you apply that thing and walk it out. Then you will have well-being. Then it'll be successful for you. You know what I mean? Then you'll be producing fruit. And if stuff come your way to try to test your emunah, you just stay the course. You stay the course. You don't deviate from the left or the right. It's about being obedient to the Most High Yah by any means necessary. We seen that in Yashar with Father Abraham when adversary came in different ways trying to deter him from being obedient to what thus said Yah. Come on, man.
He did the same thing in Job. We're going to have to bring that out again, man. The testament of Job, man. Job frustrated him. Job made him throw a tantrum. That man said, why can't I get him? Why can't I turn him against him? He's still so happy. Hey, man, you got to get like Job, man. But yeah, all praises. You know, it's we at a time where it's time to really focus on what's important. You know, and what's important is just living right, man. You can have all the money. Some people say, you know, it's about money. You gotta have things and all that. I mean, true. We need funds. We need to be able to operate and move and all that, right? But we don't know what tomorrow got for us. So it's best to be prepared spiritually to either live or die. You know, some people say they ain't scared to die, but they scared to live, to really live. You know, they scared to change. You know, they ready to die, not knowing where they going when they die. Oh, I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't scared to die. Yeah. You know, until till them people ask you what you got in your pocket. You know, and they ask you what you got in your pocket. You got anything of ours that got anything that belongs to ours, to us and you? Hate, envy, malice, lying, deceit. You got any of this in you? Then you're gonna have a problem. Then they ain't gonna let you cross over. Or they're gonna swap out with you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. This thing done turned into a Mark 6 or 7. This is supposed to have been a scripture reading. Let's see where we at here, man.
Let's get back to some script, man. We didn't have a good elaboration.
How much time we got on this thing? Oh,
hour 33.
Yeah. Let's finish out 26. 2. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, truly I have heard, my Adon, that thy mother Sarah was barren in her days until my Adon Abraham, thy father, prayed for her, and she conceived by him. Now therefore stand up, pray thou also to Yah, and he will hear thy prayer and remember us through his mercies. And Isaac answered his wife Rebekah, saying, Abraham has already prayed for me to Yah to multiply his seed. Now therefore this barrenness must proceed to us from thee. And Rebekah said unto him, but arise now thou also and pray, that Yah may hear thy prayer and grant me children. And Isaac hearkened to the words of his wife, And Isaac and his wife rose up and went to the land of Moriah to pray there and to seek Yah. And when they had reached that place, Isaac stood up and prayed to Yah on account of his wife because she was barren. And Isaac said, O Adon Yah of Shamayim and Arats, whose goodness and mercies fill the Arats, thou who didst take my father from his father's house and from his birthplace, and didst bring him unto this land, and didst say unto him, to thy seed will I give the land, and thou didst promise him, and didst declare unto him, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the Shemaim, and as the sand of the sea. Now may thy words be verified, which thou didst speak unto my father. For thou art the Adon of our power. For thou art.
That's really. I know it got the lowercase l, but right there it's always that's right there is Yahweh Eloheinu. So that's Ahenu is our power. So that's is Yah Eloheinu. Yeah, I know Baruch. Man, that's what it is. It's Yah. It's Yah Almighty.
Eloheinu. Yah Eloheinu of Shemaim and the Arats, whose goodness and mercies fill the earth. Thou did. No, we're down here at 7. Okay, for thou art Yah Eloheinu, our eyes are toward thee to give us seed of men, as thou didst promise us. For thou art Yah Eloheinu, and our eyes are directed toward thee only. And Yah heard the prayer of Isaac, the son of Abraham, and Yah was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And in about 7 months after, the children struggled together within her, and it pained her greatly that she was wearied on account of them. And she said to all the women who were then in the land, did such a thing happen to you as it has to me? And they said unto her, no. We don't know nothing about that. You got babies fight in your stomach? And she said unto them, why am I alone in this amongst all the women that were upon the earth? And she went to the land of Moriah to seek Yah on account of this. And she went to Shem and Eber.
To the elders.
She didn't do it herself.
Men.
His son, to make inquiries of them in this matter, and they should seek Yah in this thing respecting her. So
they didn't even now, when she came. Real quick,
it is instances, right, where women prayed and their prayers got answered, right? We see that with Samuel's mom. She prayed in the temple. It's a few instances, right? So we don't want y'all, bringing this up like, well, it don't happen. But these instances where women are dealt with, you see them far and in between. All these pages, you only got about 10 women it happened like that with. Over 100 books, you only see it 10 times.
Let me also bring another meditational thought to think upon. Yeah, I said meditational. Shem, when she went to Shem and Eber, right, to make inquiries of them in this matter, that and that they should seek Yahweh on this in this thing, respecting her. I'm saying, you got some leaders out there, or some that call themselves elders, and you'll go to them and talk to them about a situation, and they'll give you stuff. They don't even go and inquire of Yahweh what is what. They just give you blurt what they feel at that time. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So it's just a little nugget for whomever it may concern. That's all. All right.
I can say too, I have to, repent as well for not having that mind of, let me wait and take a minute and pray about it. I gotta say, I really don't be quick to be like that, because I feel like I wait until I'm urged on something strongly, which could be cool, and then it could be an issue as well. because that same answer you get from praying is kind of a what they call it, confirmation or whatever. I feel like when I move on actions, it feels as a confirmation, you know. And if it works out, then I was right, and if it don't work out, then I wasn't right. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just being honest with the people and saying that I need to work on this as well without just being, quick to just pronounce a thing or to do a thing, but take time and pray on it and seek y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. 11. And she said, and she also asked Abraham to seek and inquire of Yah about all that had befallen her. And they all inquired of Yah concerning this matter, and they brought her word from Yah and told her, two children are in thy womb, and 2 nations shall arise from them. And 1 nation shall be stronger than the other, and the greater shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were completed, she knelt down, and behold, there were twins in her womb. See, she knelt down. She wasn't on her back, as Yah had spoken to her. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And all the people of the land called his name Esau, saying that this one was made complete from the womb. And after that came his brother. And his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Therefore they called his name Jacob, Jacob. And Yitzchak, Isaac, the son of Abraham, was 60 years old when he begat them. 60. So that means
20 years after he got a wife.
Sarah was 30 years old at this time. She was 10 when they met.
Rebecca.
2 years later.
Rebecca.
She was 40. Ribka, yeah, Ribka.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At 30 years old, she was tripping off the fact she hadn't had no kids. That's the point, bring out. Mm-hmm. And the boys grew up to their 15th year. That means she's 45, and Isaac is 75 years old by the time his kids hit 15. And they came amongst the society of men at 15. Esau was a designing and deceitful man and an expert hunter in the field. And Jacob was a man perfect and wise, dwelling in tents, feeding flocks, and learning the instructions of Yah and the commandments of his father and mother. They show you, that's why I say, man, we don't trust in weapons and all that. Mm-hmm. But we know they are needed and can be used for aid and security, right? But we more so on the wise of being perfect and wise, being meek and humble. We don't have to live in mansions and whatnot. As long as we comfortable, we cool. Feeding flocks, learning the instructions of Yah. And Isaac and the children of his household dwelt with his father Abraham in the land of Canaan, as Yah had commanded them. And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, went with his children. See, the whole time it's saying the land of Canaan, it's really their land. All these places, Hebron, Beersheba, all this stuff became theirs. Mm-hmm. Because Canaan had stole this land from Shem. They pretty much was cultivating it until the children of Israel came of age to dwell in it themselves. Is somebody cultivating something for you that they just waiting on you to come of age so you can take it over? Let them use you.
Let them use you.
Very well could be. Somebody could be building vineyards and building houses for you to take over when you finally come of age. Mm-hmm. Something that's rightfully yours. You don't know it and they don't know it. But y'all know it.
Wow.
And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, went with his children and all belonging to them. And they returned there to the land of Havilah, and they dwelt there. And all the children of Abraham's concubines went to dwell in the land of the east. See, people want to talk. People want to talk. Did you hear what this said? And all the children of Abraham's concubines. What do we see him being rebuked? They're talking about he's the whoremonger and he's fleshly and all this whole stuff they want to say today. He on his second wife with a couple of concubines, because it's plural, it's an S on it. He ain't got one. He got a couple of them.
And they call her Abba for fleshly out.
You know what they call him fleshly. Fleshly. See, you're carnal.
Oh,
no, back then it was all about having children, having
right.
Strength in numbers. People out here with 1 and 2 kids, our ancestors wasn't even for that like that. Isaac is the only one they talked of having a 2-piece like that. Everybody else wanted multiple children.
Well, it did multiply. It went from 1. Let me say this, like that. According to the seed of promise.
Well, I'm talking about.
You're right. I was on something else. You're right. My bad. Lucky. Go ahead.
Multiple women.
Yeah.
Well, we see Abraham did it.
Mm-hmm.
We see Jacob did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then today it's shunned and all this stuff, man. It's crazy, but whatever.
Welcome to America.
Abraham had sent them away from his son and had given them presents, and they went. Now, true enough, Sarah was a special person that had a special inheritance that came with her position with Abraham. So all these other women and their children didn't compare to her. So women, if you your husband's first wife and all that, then you probably hold a position like this. That don't mean he can't have all these other women, though. I'm just saying, let's just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? You get a certain inheritance. You get a certain prestige and a certain importance over them. But still of them. And Abraham gave all that he had to his son Isaac. And he also gave him all his treasures. And he commanded him, saying, dost thou not know and understand that Elohenu, Yah Elohenu, in heaven and in earth, and there is no other besides him?
Real quick, before you go on, that right there is not Elohenu right there because it's not R, but this is talking about the singular R, so it could be Alai, Alua, Al, you know what I mean? But it's not Elohenu. That new on the end of it make it R, like R.
Is it Yah Elohenu or Elohenu Yah?
No. This is not
Elohenu. Is it Adon Yah or Yah the Adon or
it's Yahweh. You can say Yahweh Alai. That's the same thing.
Oh,
it's Yahweh Alai because it's singular right here. So when you say Alai, it's saying Ma'al or Ma'alai. You know what I mean? You put the yod on the end, it makes it mine. It's make it plural. So or you can say Alua. Yahweh Alua in Shemaim and in the rest. And there was no other besides him. You know what I mean? So
right.
when you make it R, you saying Elohenu, you put the nu on the end. When you make it your, you say Ka, like Alehecha. You know what I mean? Your all. You know what I mean? Your mighty one. And then you know when you have a singular by yourself, you got all like Alua. Yeah. I just
I want to speak on something else real quick too. Let me talk to the people. Listen, we talked about offices earlier and whatnot, right? In every relationship, everybody ain't the same. Everybody ain't equal as far as talents, right? But in authority amongst brothers, everybody can be equal. But as far as talents, right? I'm the talker. I'm like the one, I talk. I got certain things that suits me to be the talker. But my brother, he got his own set of talents, his own set of skills. As you see, my brother's very schooled in the Hebrew, and he also brings about a certain perspective from that, because he go into the Hebrew and the words, and he has a certain way he studies and sees things, and he brings that forth at certain times. He don't blurt out it all the time, always try to bring you. He wait, he's calculated, and he bring you forth at a certain time where it's needed. And that's what we do. Same thing in a marriage, same thing with any relationship. I can't try to hoard his talents and I'm the expert on the Hebrew and see, and no, let him do that. That's what he does. And where he brings correction, I heed to his correction. I'm not, no, see, it's really this, and it's really that. No. I'm like, hallelujah, all praises. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Same here. That's relationship. That's unity. That's unity of the book.
You know, and going against a structure like that is an abomination.
Hallelujah. That's right.
We together for a reason, man. Shout out to the elders at Salt Community. At the last Hebron meeting, they spoke about, pairs. Hamashiach sent the apostles out 2 by 2. Because what one don't have, the other one has.
Yeah.
Same thing in a marriage. What a man don't have, his wife should have. If she's a good wife, if she's the right wife, where he's weak, she's strong. And where she's weak, he's strong. So it just, I wanted to point that out, man.
For that.
Just talking about it. We really living it. We really doing it. We see things like that. He don't try to step on my toes. I don't try to step on his.
Hallelujah. That's right.
What we at, 23? No, 22. And he commanded him, saying, dost thou not know and understand that Allah Yah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, whatever you want to say, Allah Yahweh, in the Shemayim and the Urat, and there is no other beside him. And it was he who took me from my father's house and from my birthplace and gave me all the delights upon earth, who delivered me from the counsel of the wicked. For in him did I trust. And he brought me to this place, and he delivered me from Kassadim. And he said unto me, who is talking here? Abraham? This is Abraham. Yeah. People always give a roll call of what Yah has done. You got to have his deeds and his judgments on the frontlets of your forehead, man. To remember where he brought you from, what he done for you, and keep remembering it and keep calling upon it so it can give you strength to continue and give others strength. He's telling this story to give strength to Isaac, to strengthen him. And he said unto me, to thy seed will I give all these lands, and they shall inherit them when they keep my commandments, my statutes, and my judgments that I have commanded thee, and which I shall command them. Now, therefore, my son, hearken to my voice, and keep the commandments of Allah Yahweh, which I commanded thee. Do not turn from the right way, either to the right or to the left, in order that it may be well with thee and thy children after thee forever. And remember the wonderful works of Yah and his kindness that he has shown toward us in having delivered us from the hands of our enemies, and at Eloheinu Yah. No, what is it? Allah Yahweh caused them to fall into our hands. Are you still on there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll be here in
Yahweh caused them to fall into our hands. And now, therefore, keep all that I have commanded thee, and turn not away from the commandments of thy power, of thy mighty one, and serve none beside him, in order that it may be well with thee and thy seed after thee. And teach thou thy children and thy seed the instructions of Yah and his commandments, and teach them the upright way in which they should go, in order that it may be well with them forever. And Isaac answered his father and said unto him, that which my Adon has commanded, that will I do, and I will not depart from the commands of Allah Yah. I will keep all that he commanded me. And Abraham Baruch his son Isaac and all his children, and Abraham taught Jacob the instructions of Yah and his ways. And it was at that time that Abraham died, in the 15th year of the life of Jacob and Esau, the sons of Isaac. And all the days of Abraham were 175 years, and he died and was gathered to his people in the good old age, old and satisfied with days. And Isaac and Ishmael his sons buried him. And when the inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all came with their kings and princes and all their men to bury Abraham. You see how Ishmael is still around? He wasn't like, oh, I don't get no inheritance. You don't rock with me. Oh, I ain't gonna deal with you. He wasn't like that. He respected the fact that certain things was done a certain way. Now, he wasn't left with rags. The Most High was with him too, and kept him and prospered him, where he had many kids, many wives, and ended up getting a great position. Right? But that's because he understood, and he didn't rebel against his father. You know? Same thing. We can't rebel when instruction comes. We can't rebel when righteousness comes. We got to be like Ishmael and stay in our lane and still do what needs to be done and still respect authority. Because when his daddy came and told him, listen, this wife you got, you need to get rid of her. Did he buck and said, no, Dad, you don't know her. See, she's really cool. I really love her. No, he got rid of her. Because his daddy told him. The same daddy that put him away, right? He still honored him by listening to what he said. The same daddy that put him away, he still honored him and came to visit him, you know, when he died. Just want to throw that out there. And when the inhabitants of Canaan heard that Abraham was dead, they all came with their kings and princes and all their men to bury Abraham. And all the inhabitants of the land of Haran, and all the families of the house of Abraham, and all the princes and grandees and the sons of Abraham, by the concubines, all came when they heard of Abraham's death. And they requited Abraham's kindness. Now, you notice, it don't talk about the concubines' sons and who came from that. You know why? Because they don't matter. It don't talk about who they sons was and what nation they sons had and all that. It don't talk about that. Because they don't matter. That's what happened when you take a concubine. They sons become servants to the children of the promise, to the children of the marriages. That's where these handmaids and stuff come from. We be doing stuff all the time. Like, man, we need a handmaid around this joint. We need a manservant. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you don't get that. You ain't out here, you know, getting yourself concubines and whatnot. All came when they heard Abraham's death. And they requited Abraham's kindness and comforted Isaac his son, and they buried Abraham in the cave which he bought from Ephron the Hittite and his children for the possession of a burial place. And all the inhabitants of Canaan and all those who had known Abraham wept for Abraham a whole year. And men and women mourned over him. And all the little children and all the inhabitants of the land wept on the account of Abraham. Wept on the account of Abraham, for Abraham had been good to them all. See, this is the kind of life you want to live. That's why you can't be talking about you don't deal with heathens. The Canaanites is a cursed people by the Most High Yah. But here we have them got enough respect and enough love in their heart because of how Abraham treated them to come pay their respects to this man, because he treated them good. Now he didn't kill some people. Don't get it to he didn't kill some people behind his other people and all that. He didn't went to war. He didn't did all that. But outside of his war and outside of his justice, he showed kindness and mercy.
Hey,
Right?
real quick. While you talking about our father Abraham, man, I want to bring this out for the people that's listening. Yashiyahu 51. Also the 2, it says, look to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who gave you birth. When I called him, he was only one man, and I baruched him and made him many. So that right there can go many ways. It say that right there, but it also like look to Abraham and look to his ways of how he was kind and good to all. And he got a good name, a good report based on on his actions, because he was upright with all and men. It says it right there. I just wanted to share that real quick. That's Yahoo 52.
Hallelujah. Confirmation. For Abraham had been good to them all, and because he had been upright with Yah and men. And there arose not a man who feared Yah like unto Abraham, for he had feared his mighty one from his youth, and had served Yah, and had gone in all his ways during his life, from his childhood to the day of his death. And then Yah was with him and delivered him from the counsel of Nimrod and his people. And when he made war with the 4 kings of Elam, he conquered them. That's why I say he didn't kill some folks now.
Oh, yeah.
The rod of correction is never far from a righteous man. You got to be able to lay that thing down. It comes with it. You got to be able to lay it to smack it down, as they say. You know what I'm talking about? And he brought all the children of the earth to the service of Yah. See? They got to be so moved and so intrigued by how you serve that they desire to serve. You know? And he taught them the ways of Yah and caused them to know Yah. Man, we got to learn something from Abraham.
I'm telling you, look to him.
And he formed a grove, and he planted a vineyard therein. He had always prepared. I had been looking for this scripture, man, because I knew I had read it somewhere, and I could not find it for nothing in the world, man. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and save this thing here. Let me go ahead and save that thing. Let me bookmark that thing here.
And while you saving, I want to bring out two. Go ahead.
And he formed a grove, and he planted a vineyard therein. And he had always prepared in his tent meat and drink to the. I knew it was in here. I knew I was crazy. He prepared in his tent meat and drink to those that passed through the land, that they might satisfy themselves in his house. Man, find this nowhere. And the
and Yah, remember Yah is gonna be Yah right there.
Yah.
Or it could be Adonai. It could be Adonai Yahweh right there. You know what I mean? And Adonai Yahweh.
It sounds better with Yahweh, even though I say Yahuwah and you know Yah. Well, Adonai Yahuwah kind of got a ring to it too. But either way, man, Yahweh for my brother. Adonai Yahweh delivered the whole earth on account of Abraham. And it was after the death of Abraham that Yah, let's be Yah, because it's personal like that. That Yah baruched his son Isaac and his children. And see, why does it change like that?
Because sometimes in the thing, when you're reading the thing, I'm saying real quick, just when you read it in the thing, sometimes it'll have Elohim. You know what I mean? It'll have Elohim, and Elohim baruch the son of his son Yitzhak and children, and Yah was with him with his. You know what I mean? It'll say it like that. That's that's why I don't like the English for the untrained eye, not study. When they see this, it can be confusing, man. Confusing, with the LORDs and the GODs, and then you got them when you got the old capital LORD and the capital GOD. But in certain books and certain things, they don't even follow that rule, where it be a capital LORD for the name of Yah and a capital GOD for the name of Yah. It'd still be regular old lowercase LORD and regular old GOD. You see what I'm saying? And it can be kind of confusing.
Only the King James. Only the King James.
Right. The King James had a capital LORD and capital GOD because they making, a distinction where people know that that's where the name go without putting the name there.
For that. Appreciate
Yeah.
And Yah was with Isaac, as he had been with his father Abraham, for Isaac kept all the commandments of Yah, as Abraham his father had commanded him. He did not turn to the right or to the left from the right path which his father had commanded him. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I was gonna do 27, man, but we're about 2 hours into this thing.
All right, let me share something too, because I remember when you was talking, you was on the now this is different from the lesson right now. It was when you was talking about some sister got on there and was tripping, talking about
the gun.
Yeah.
Man.
Go ahead.
It's a picture on the Hebron men's gathering page of, right before we left. Matter of fact, you had just left, and Ibanon took a picture of us, me and a couple of the brothers, and I was about to go to the shooting range afterwards, so I was already ready, had the baby. So when they took the picture, I was holding it, I just, I held it up or whatever and took the picture. So I felt like that'd be a good picture to put on the Hebron page. So I shared it a bunch of places, right? And some sister gonna put on there, what she say? We don't condone assault rifles. We don't need assault rifles. We got y'all. So I'm like, man, go ahead.
Hey, with that added, I got a little extra something to put on that too. But the first thing I want to say is I want to educate the people on, first of all, with the sister whoever said that. Like, say for instance, a lot of people call ARs assault rifle. That's incorrect. It's not an assault rifle. It's called Armalite. Armalite rifle is the name of the brand that makes that rifle. Armalite. Armalite rifle is not an assault rifle. When you say assault rifle, that puts in the mind of a person that someone is going to go assault someone. You know what I mean? Right. No, it's not the case. It's for home defense. Matter of fact, let me give you a good showing. I'm going to show you something real quick. Hold on now. And then real quick, just for that, I'm just doing something. And another thing is that Father Yah was with all the 12 tribes of Yashar as well. He's with Yahudah, with all of them. And they had swords on their sides. They didn't trust in them swords. They trusted in Yah, though. But they had them weapons. So know what people need to know what they're talking about before they get to start speaking and spewing stuff out their mouth based off their emotional feelings or what somebody else didn't share, probably with the idea, the concept of the Christian idea that they didn't taught and gave men. We going back to the ancient path, the ancient way. You'll be silly to not defend yourself, and that's not to say that you trust in a weapon. Dawood used a weapon. He trusted in the Most High Yah, and he still used a slingshot. And even when he was king, he had swords and did his thing. But did that mean he trusted in the weapon? No. That's why you got to get an understanding, people, instead of just spewing stuff out of emotions. Listen.
My brother got one of them peppermint patties over there with the sidearm to go with it. I got a little, look, I ain't got to shoot you. I can stab you too. That's not a knife. This is a knife. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, look, this the thing. You see this right here? See that?
Your lighting kind of bad. Your lighting kind of bad, but I like that. Oh, yeah. Baby done came a long way. She came a long way.
See that? This is a Armalite rifle. Got the beam and everything. A Stendo 60 round clip. Yeah. I'm not going around assaulting nobody. And then you know what? For self defense, also I got my little hand with the beam on it.
Pocket racket
over there. 30 with the Stendo. See that? 2 Stendos on it. But I ain't going around hurting nobody. You get what I'm saying?
You ready though?
But I'm ready. A son of the Most High Yah, child of Dawood, ready to protect my people at any time. And I'm not trusting in this weapon. Nah. But this is my slingshot. I trust in the name of Yahweh. You better believe it. There you go. So quit playing, people. And quit being so sensitive and scary.
It's that Rambo knife right here. But yeah, man, don't nobody trusting this stuff. But you need have it. You need have it. Just in case.
Just in
Right?
case.
And you need to be expert with it too.
Oh yeah, you gotta practice
with it. I'm around here playing with it, you know, because if you just got it, it's people that got these kinds of things, right? They're not prepared. They're not prepared. Well, they look like some 6'2".
Nah, these are 5.56 or 223, 5.56, I believe. Armor piercing, green tip.
All right.
Yeah. All the same though. We got
hit you on the other side of the door. You better, hey, listen. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You ought not try them. Hallelujah. Well, yeah, man. And to the sister's credit, you know, after a couple back and forths, you know, I hit her. I told her, I said, listen, sister, you know, I don't trust in no weapons. My brothers don't trust in no weapons, but we ain't no fools out there either. And she said, well, it's not smart to be posting it on Facebook and all this stuff. I'm like, man, you know what? You know, it could be a little ill-advised and whatnot, but it's about what it stands for and what it means. Men standing up, men being men. You know, that's the whole thing behind it. Because I wasn't the kind of brother. I always wanted one, and when I had the ability to go buy one legally, you don't go do it. Because when you're in the streets, you think about like really using it on some stuff and getting rid of it. So you don't want it, you know,
right.
Being traced to you. You don't want it traceable.
Right.
So, you know, I just was never able to really acquire what I needed. You know, it seemed like y'all just kept it from me, you know, because it'd be crazy circumstances to where I just could never get what I was looking for, right? You know, I'd have people that had them, but when it came time to get it, to have money, and it just, something happened that it just wouldn't go through, right? So I just like, man, you know, I ain't gonna worry about it. So I went all these years being in the worst places around some of the worst people, but never needing it, you know. So
right.
Until things started getting bad, you know, in the world with food shortages, and we started stocking and having, and I'm thinking, man, listen, if we got and somebody don't got, they're gonna want to come take. And we need to be able to combat that. We need to be able to stop that threat. So put two and two together. Hey, here we go. Pink Master.
Pink Master.
And that's just what it is. It's for my office, to come in my office. Being a man, regardless of Facebook and having pictures and all that. That's to uplift my brothers too. You know what I'm saying? To encourage them that this is what it's about, as far as, you know, being in your household, man. What do you do? You see my brother over there? One of the meekest brothers. Listen, passionate, you know, so much passion it can produce tears. He's a big fella too. He's not no little small guy. But he's so passionate, got so much love, man. He'll pray with you and call out to the Most High and everything. But you see, he's strapped up like a Mexican bandit, won't he? Put some brass in your ass. That's what it's about. Twofold. Mm-hmm. Spirit and truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got the rod of peace and the rod of correction.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. What you, rod of peace, the direction counsel, the long range. What you want? It's on you.
Hey, which is easier? You know what I'm talking about?
What you asking for? I give you what you want. Hey, but for real, man, truly though, on some real stuff, man, you know, it's nothing wrong with, you know, having these things. It's not like when you talking about posting on, for her to say something about posting on Facebook, it's not like how the people that be in them gangs out there, you know, F this and all this, and, you know, showing all them little guns like they just go knock this out. Look, we ain't going around hurting nobody. Let me tell you that straight up.
No, we not
Right. We're not going to hurt nobody. We're not out here offending or committing offenses or trying to do it. We on the defense. And the Most High Yah has given us the ability to have things to defend. You get what I'm saying? So he would not have us ignorant. So you got to realize, the type of people that we are in Yah. You know what I mean? It's, prayer is one thing. And then, the commands and the instruction that the Most High give is part of it. Like, say, for instance, you remember the Book of Esther, where it was written by the king, that the king was telling his people, well, he got tricked into doing that the people was going to go kill and knock off the Hebrew people in their land. But then, because of Hadassah being there, the wife of the king spoke on behalf of her people. And then he put out a decree out that all the children of Yashar, all the Hebrews, get weapons and defend themselves when this attack comes, because it couldn't be reversed because it was a decree sent out. So people don't see that and realize that. So don't let people lie to you. You get what I'm saying? Because you got people out here lying. You got people out here that's working for the enemy, that got you trying to be all docile and passive and all this other stuff. Lay it down. You know what I mean? Turn the other cheek to your enemy that want to harm you, rape you, kill you, and all this other stuff. You can't, and telling you don't defend your household, don't defend your wife, your children. What type of sense that make? You get what I'm saying? Listen, I'm going to protect and defend mine and shoot first, and then I'm going to ask questions later. How about that? And then y'all help me. You know what I mean? That's really true.
Not doing it. Not defending your house. You qualify for being effeminate. That's the office of a woman. To be careless, to be like, not preparing for destruction. Women can be careless. They can be like, my daddy got it, my husband got it, my covering got it. That's part of the benefits of being a woman. They don't have to take on these weighted matters. It's to the men that's over them to take on these matters. So if you're not doing it, you're feminine. What else you want to call it?
Right. Don't let these people make you stupid.
People think about wearing the garments of a woman is strictly about wearing a dress. No, the actions and the behaviors of a woman is the same thing. It's an abomination, and you shouldn't be wearing it. Just like she shouldn't be behaving herself as a man. She shouldn't be behaving masculine. It's an abomination.
That's right.
It ain't just about the pants. It's the attitude that go along with that thing. So yeah, man,
that's a fact.
You ain't gonna hear that. You ain't gonna hear that on your on your Shabbat lesson. You know why? Because they got a congregation full of women that don't want to hear it, and they got a congregation full of men that don't want to hear it. I ain't got no congregation of nobody, so there you go. There you have it.
Hey, and I just, this came up too, like when the children of Yashar came up out of Mitzrayim into the wilderness, right? And Moshe went up. First of all, let me bring this out too, y'all willing. Moshe, the Most High revealed to the whole congregation, the children of Yashar, that Moshe was the man that Yah chose. He confirmed it by thundering, lightning, and the words that came forth. They didn't see no form. To let them know that this, and then the people chose, say, Moshe, you go up, and whatever you say, we will do. That was their choice and their words saying that, and the Most High honored that. With that being said, when
we lost you, you froze up. Froze up, Ak. I'm gonna have to close you out, bring you back in there. Well, my brother will be back. My brother will be back. Yeah, Willie. But yeah, man, this is what we got going on, man. Oh, there you go.
Here I am. Here I am.
All right, you back. Go ahead.
Here I am. So what I was saying before I left out that Abiyah revealed to the church, to all the congregation, that Moshe was the man that he chose, that he permitted to come and approach him on behalf of the people. And it was known by the people that that was Abiyah's choice to do so. Now, when Moshe came back down, they forgot quickly the path that the Most High Yah has given them to walk in by creating an idol to worship, the golden calf. So, with that being said, when Moshe came down and talked to the people, that was a saying. It said, "Whoever's on Yahweh's side, come this way. Come over here with me." Right. So those that came over there on Moshe's side was the children of Aaron, right? The Kohen, the priest, which come the Kohen Haggadah, which is the high priest. He told them to gird themselves with their sword, to unsheathe their sword, and walk around. And there you go. Everybody kill their neighbor. That's what Abiyah said. The one who is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, who changes not. That's the one who told him to take his sword, gave Moshe the word to tell him to take their sword out and go. And do you think that they was trusting in their weapons? No, they trusted in the Most High Yah. That's why they did it, because Yah told them to do it. So let's not be ignorant, people, and let's not ignore the fact that Yah is a man of war, and he always gave the children of Yashal triumph, caused them to be triumphant in war, using weapons, but all the meanwhile they was trusting in him. You get what I'm saying? So let's leave everything in its rightful place and correct these false narratives that people has preached for so long. We got to get that out of there. This is not that. This is not that time. This ain't that. Yeah.
And too, you know, if everybody was strapped up, you'd be less out. First of all, strapped up with a heart of love and unity for your brothers. First of all, key. Because if you ain't got that love and unity with your brothers, then you'll use them guns and them weapons against your brothers, first off. But if you was all strapped up and they knew y'all was all strapped up, they wouldn't be coming into your communities doing what they do. They'd be more on guard, you know. But, you know, all of it's a part of the curses that you ain't going to have the mind to. You ain't going to have the mind to have love and unity if you out living wickedly, if you out loving the tit of the heathen, you loving being up under them, living amongst them, and all that. It was, listen, people got to understand this whole thing about moving to the other side of town with the heathen and all this stuff. This stuff was something our forefathers was never on. That's why the whole concept of loving thy neighbor is strictly meant to be your brother. Because this whole thing about living amongst Gentiles and heathens was not a thing. They came to live amongst us. And if they had the mind and the heart to come live amongst us, then they become our brothers. But us going to live amongst them, talking about loving and honoring them, no. I mean, you can respect, you can treat them with respect, but, you know, that's not the same thing as, you know, 7 times 70 and all of that stuff, you know, not hating and forgiving debts and all that. Well, you know, you ain't got to forget no heathen or no debt. I need that, heathen.
Yeah, break bread.
Break that off.
Break that off.
So, you know. Yeah, man, we got to get to understand the scripture for real, man, the good and the bad, man. There's people that really, they love all the good parts and they shun the bad parts, or they shun the parts that don't make sense with a Western view of understanding. Now, we read earlier about Rebecca's age. Said she was 10 years old. We know Abraham married his niece, his brother's daughter. In the Western mindset, that's not going to happen. In the Western mindset, 10 years old ain't going to happen. But our opinion and what Scripture says is 2 totally different things. Unless your opinion is in line with the Scripture. You know, it don't have to be for you. And nobody say you got to marry your brother's daughter or your father's brother. Ain't nobody said you got to marry these folks. You ain't got to marry no 10-year-olds and all that. But then you can't turn around and rebuke people for doing it if that's what their culture allows. That's what the Most High allow. Just like the whole thing about polygyny and all that. You ain't got to participate. But my problem ain't the fact that people don't participate. My problem is that people call it sin and call it whoredom and wickedness and all these things. That means you talk about our ancestors.
Not only that, they talking about the father. They talking about father. They talking about Father Yah too, and they don't even know it. Let me tell you why. Because let me say, when our ancestor Daoud, when he messed with Bathsheba, the Hittite's wife, right? Before that, the Most High sent the prophet Nathan, right? Nathan to him and told him that if that wasn't enough, I would have. If you could have asked, I would have gave you more. You know what I mean? Remember that?
All right.
Nathan. Let's get Nathan. There you go, man.
Special guest.
Man. What's up, man? Hey, man. So he told King David in his word, and to Nathan, we talking about Yahweh who changes not, the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, said to him, he didn't have to get another man's wife. If what he had wasn't enough, he could have asked, and Yah would have gave him more.
Yeah.
People don't see these things. They get
you don't have to do it. You don't have to
right.
do your thing.
That ain't for you. It ain't for you. Just like eating meat.
No strike against you for not wanting it.
Right. Just like
you be condemning stuff that you ain't got no understanding of, man.
Yeah, they don't have no understanding of. And then the scripture, we talk about that in the last days, that it's gonna be people that speaking negative on dignitaries. They don't have no knowledge on none of these, speaking just foul against stuff that they have no knowledge on. You see what I'm saying? Just talking.
You ain't even supposed to speak foul of Hasatan.
Right.
Today. You got
even Michael was one of the chief Malachim, did not bring a railing accusation against Hasatan. He said, "May Yahweh rebuke you." He didn't even do it.
Tell people that today.
Yeah, I know, because they so spiritually minded on earth good, and I don't even know how that works. That's weird. You ain't spiritually minded. You goofy out here.
He be doing that too.
He do.
He be trying to snap his fingers. He be like this. He raise his hands up and snap like that.
My little brother right there, man. All right. Yeah, y'all quit being goofy out here, man. Get into the word and start studying. Quit listening to people. Okay, if you don't know, and then somebody brings something your way that gave you something that you didn't know beforehand, go research that thing. You be better off researching that thing and proving all things. Be like a Berean. Go study. You know, it may sound good and everything, that's good, but anything that somebody come and bring something to you that you never heard of, gonna sound good if you never heard of it, and it sounds very intriguing and interesting. But go do research, because it might be some flaws in it. You don't know. You don't know.
Huh? Real quick, let me speak on something, man. It's this thing about people being well spoken and kind and all this stuff, and that don't mean they right.
That's a fact.
It's people that get on these videos and do all this stuff, and they sound so passionate and so zealous and all that. Listen, if you don't have understanding, if you're not in your right mind, you can tune in to Creflo Dollar,
TDJ,
Joel Osteen, and hear these people talk with this passion and with this zeal and this kindness, and you can be fooled to hell. Don't think that don't happen in this Hebrew walk.
I'm telling you.
It's people doing it. It's people out here calling themselves prophets and prophetesses and ain't predicted a damn thing accurately.
Ain't they the prophet of inaccuracy?
Prophet of inaccuracy. People got to stop it, man. It say if they predict a thing and it comes to pass, then y'all told him. But if it don't come to pass, y'all ain't told him nothing. So why you just believe in people because they tell you they're a prophet, because they talk good and they're a prophetess and all this stuff, man? But
they got a lot of followers. They got a lot of followers.
Got a lot of followers.
That don't determine you a righteous person because you got a lot of followers?
Really don't. Because really, multitudes of people don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
You got 400-500 people on your thing. You can't be cutting folk.
We see that with Mashiach. Mashiach was talking to the Talmudims, and a lot of them fell away because it was some hard sayings he was saying. And he looking at his other was like, you want to go too?
That's what I'm. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, y'all gonna show what's what and all that. True enough, right. It ain't always got to be about cutting, but it should be about cutting. Because if correction need to be made, then correction need to be heard.
We need right teaching. That's what we need. We need it. We don't need no coddling. We don't need no it's gonna be all right and have them Christians talking how they. No, we need that, bro. We need that correction. We need that doctrine. We need that reproof. We need all that was inspired by the Ruach HaKodesh that leads us into the right way of living to produce that righteous fruit. We need it. And the reason why, and if we don't have it, then we're gonna be done how we was over here, how things been going. No, it's time to follow that, huh?
Y'all said he gonna crush the hearer and the speaker of these false prophecies. The false prophet that tell you everything gonna be okay, y'all ain't gonna bring destruction, everything's fine. He gonna curse that person in front of the people, then he gonna curse the people.
He done it before. There's many of times in the book where he done. That was a prophet. A so-called prophet. He wasn't no real prophet, though. He was a false prophet. And that was Yirmiyahu, the true Nabi of Yahweh, right? And he told the children of Yahweh that the children of Yahweh was going to be, the captivity was going to be long. Then the false prophet rising up like, no, it ain't. He talking like, look, such and such. And y'all remember y'all like, that was it. But, hey, that sounds good and everything. But then the Most High Yah came in and he knocked off that false prophet. Knocked him off. And because that brings apostasy against Yahweh. It makes people go astray from Yah. If you're not gathering to, you're scattering abroad. And if you're teaching falsehoods, things that Yah did not say, you are scattering. You're not bringing to. You get what I'm saying?
So you can't bring to, you can't gather the masses in a falsehood.
Facts.
People happy to have numbers, but they're not edifying the people properly, and people ill prepared for temptation and for destruction. So when a strong wind comes, they get destroyed, they get thrown off. You know why? Because they didn't have a proper foundation.
Right.
And it's, me and my brothers, we're not for that, man. Look, it's certain gems and certain little deals like the SEALs and all that. They like, listen, if you can survive this training, you in there. So we like that. If you can survive this cut down, if you can survive the things we gonna bring out and talk about, then you honest. Because we're not bringing you nothing to hurt you. And everything we say, we considering it within ourselves.
Facts.
Because as righteous men, if we don't do it, we hypocrites.
I'm telling you, I was just thinking that in my mind. I was gonna say, see, we work together. Yeah, this is Yah's doing. We live in this thing. To the best of our ability, you better believe that. You can say what you want to say, believe what you want to believe. That's fine. You got that right. But the fact of it remains is that we're really, truly walking this walk according to the way that Abba told us to the best of our ability. We're not playing. We're not acting. We ain't acting at all. You know what I mean? Facts. So you can believe what you want to believe, man. I tell you what, we'll see in the end who's going to be where. You know what I mean? How about that?
They're going to roll that tape back.
Yeah. So, it's all good, though. It's all good to those that, trust and walk according to what y'all say do. Start listening. Quit being so sensitive, too. People are sensitive today. I'm talking about super sensitive. I got people at my job. It's a guy at my job. I want to share this real quick, a testimony. This guy asked to hold some money, right? Like $2. Granted, $3, right? He told me he was going to pay me back that day, right? I'm going to give it back to you. I said, all right. I didn't have dealings with him before where he said he was going to pay me back on the Cash App and never did. What's up, man? I got to say something, man. Huh? Man. Oh, yeah. What are you talking about? Hey, but so this is what happened. This dude, we did a job. Now, mind you, I had some previous dealings before where I let him hold some money. He was supposed to be sending it to me to my Cash App. And you know how Cash App work. You can see those that send money to you in Cash App. And you got like a whole history of list of those that send stuff to you. So he never sent it. But we worked it that we got tips or whatever. So he goes to the store and he buy him something. And I was like, man, let me get my $2. I got $1, right? I said, nah, man, I gave my $2 in your hand. I want my $2 back in my hand. I don't want you to do the Cash App. I ain't trying to hear that because I didn't dealt with you before. And I don't, you ain't done that. He got to arguing and fussing and getting loud with me. You hear me? Got to get loud about my $2. I said, listen. He said, man, it's just funky $2. I said, but it's my funky $2.
It's just a funky $2.
It's just he said it in this way. He said it in this way, but I said it's my $2. You know what I mean? It's mine that you said you're gonna give me. Give me my money. Put it in my hand. I put it in yours. So, he got to doing all this old fussing and tripping and stuff like that. But in the book of Sirach, they talk about that. It talks about how, you loan a person somebody, you loan somebody something, and then when it's time for them to pay back, they get to fussing and arguing and don't want to pay back because the righteous seeks to pay back. So, just think about the flip side of the other coin about those that's not righteous, what they seek to do. They ain't trying to give you nothing. Catch me if you can. But yeah, man. What's up, man? Give me some. Yeah. What you doing? But yeah, man. All the steam of Yahweh, man. My request is that I'm expecting that, if people have an ear to hear, they'll become wise. If they pay attention, they will become wise, man, and they will hear things that they can utilize, man, and grow in their walk. Abba Yah got a lot of good things coming out through his people, sharing, if people just listen and start applying it, and then also go do some research and everything, because there's a lot of people out here that's in certain roles and certain titles as mores and prophets and teachers and pastors and bishops and all these different things that they claim, self-appointed, right? Mm-hmm. And got their stuff going and teaching people falsely, man, and not according to the truth, man, according to the way of Yah. But it sounds good, and not only does it sound good, they got a lot of people following them, but people ain't doing their own due diligence, man. They just like, people following blind leaders leading the blind and falling into a ditch. You cannot take from what you got from a different way of life that's contrary to Yah's way and bring it over here and start occupying in it and moving in that as if it's something I try to modify. No, forsake all that and learn of Yah. Learn of Yahushua Mashiach. Walk accordingly to what Yah said do. Point blank, period. That's it.
Man.
Yeah.
What you just said, say it again for me real quick. You can't take something from somewhere else. Say it again.
Yeah, you can't take something that you learned from a different way of life and bring it over here in Yah's way and think you can occupy in that or modify it to work for you here. No, it don't work like that.
Think about this. Where we get this whole thing, this whole thing about some antichrist ruling the world in the end times and this being Jacob's trouble. Where they come from?
Christianity. The understanding that came from Christianity.
Christianity could not state what Jacob's trouble really was, which is the immediate lifestyle of the Israelites after the fall of Jerusalem.
That's right.
And everything that happened after that.
Facts.
Jacob's trouble been started.
Telling you.
What this is the prophecy about them being in the land of their captivities, returning their hearts and minds back to the Most High Yah.
That's right. Dabarim 30. Come on, man.
This is when he's about to start renewing and start preparing us to go back into our land.
Mm-hmm.
Who you think is in rulership right now? You waiting on the man of sin to be in power. Who you think is in power now? Is it a man of righteousness? You waiting on some one world government. What you think is going on right now? You waiting for some one world religion. What do you think is going on right now? You waiting on the persecutors or the keepers of the law and of the Torah. What do you think is going on right now? Even by their own people, which is what it's always been. The heathen don't give a damn about what we do. They've always let us have our own law and our own rules. It's been those amongst us that killed the righteous among us. For bringing out judgment, everything the Most High said to bring out. And this is what we have today. When brothers like us speak against the establishment, the established way of doing things, against camps, against orders, against numbers, against popular opinion. You wait on the heathen to do it. People slaying us with their words, with backbiting, with all this other stuff.
Right. What's that called? What's that secret? The secret
Christianity
words
stuff over here, man.
Right. Facts.
You gotta use history. You gotta use facts. Hold on. I got chocolate all on my teeth. What you think our ancestors thought was going on during the ride over here? When they was being hung from trees when they got here. Being tarred and feathered. You know what it means to be tarred and feathered? Back in the day, they used to heat up tar and pour it on a man and melt his skin off and put feathers on him.
Oh, wait.
And the feathers will stick. They never come off. What do you think is good? People, when I hear it, man, I'd be like, what manner of understanding? How much understanding could you have if you can't put them two together? What do you think has been going on? What hasn't been going on is the renewing after the drought, the famine that's been of the word and of truth.
Right.
That was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
In Isaiah, it say the people will go and subdue these other nations. How they gonna do that if all of them dead from this Jacob's trouble? Who is left? That's all right, son. You ought to be cheering your papa. I'm trying to tell these people what it is. Who they gonna subdue if everybody dead? But it's just crazy, man. It just don't line up with the book. These people combining Christian doctrines. It's like they say, okay, we're gonna leave the Christian church, but we're gonna take these doctrines. We're gonna take these understandings that we got from there. The whole time it's been polluted from the root.
Right.
You gotta take that thing down and cast it into the fire, man. You can't talk about I'm gonna keep the branches. This branch got a little green on it. I know the rest of it dead, but we gonna keep this little green branch. No, all of it got to go. People gotta stop it, man. It don't make no sense. You disregarding what our ancestors went through. You gonna tell them that was nothing. But we about to go through worse than what they went through.
Come on, man.
Our women today ain't nothing worse than having your child cut out of your belly while you still alive. Ain't that worse than people cutting your penis off and your balls off while you still alive with no anesthesia?
Hanging you upside down to bleed out?
Man, come on, man. What we finna go through that's worse than that?
Come on, man.
First of all, you disregard what the Most High Y'all said. He said what happened at the fall of Jerusalem, the day of the Adon, was going to be the worst times ever. So how we finna go through something worse than what they went through, man? People got to stop it, man. You hear about the fall of Jerusalem, it said it was so much blood in the city, it flowed out the gates. Blood up to the horse's bridle. Inside the city, inside the gate.
People just following man. They just listen to what sounds good and they going with it instead of doing some due diligence and research and knowing the truth, man. Then when you come and bring the truth, they want to shun you like you crazy.
I'm wrong.
Right.
And it's like,
but rejoice. Go ahead.
Go research the fall of Jerusalem, man. The fall of the temple. That was the one thing they never thought would happen. That's why they thought Hamashiach was crazy when he said it. Because everything is tied to the temple. Or they thought. All the sacrifices. So if you can't do the sacrifices, you can't get forgiveness of sins, which all was tied around the temple. How you going to be saved? They didn't understand that could ever happen. Not only did it happen in the worst ways possible. They killed people inside the holiest of holies, man. Killed men. Heathens went inside the holiest of holies. That's never supposed to happen. People of the bloodline, certain Levites can't even go inside the holiest of holies.
Right.
But pagan heathens went inside of them. They killed men praying inside the temple in the inner court, praying, slaughtered them dead. People don't understand how bad this all is. And you disregard that to say it's going to happen at another time. These same people that say this, talking about a temple being built in Jerusalem, is the third temple. We the third temple.
Yeah.
We the thing that's being built for y'all, being renewed in y'all.
Right.
Built with man's hands. He
That's
said no man
right.
shall buy you.
Come on, man. Tell
Come on,
me,
man.
That's right. That's right.
All esteem to y'all, man. He ain't giving me over to his mind to be believing some of this foolishness, man, that people believing in, man.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
They got eyes but don't see. They got ears but don't hear.
Right. That's facts. True that. Hallelujah.
That's how it's going to catch you like a thief in the night. Because you're looking for all this stuff that already happened.
Mm-hmm.
You said this stuff got to happen for Hamashiach to come back. Meanwhile, it didn't already happen.
Mm-hmm. True that, yeah. Not knowing that Mashiach is the Ruach of prophecy. So he's the Ruach of prophecy. That
was about to fall.
Him coming back is that being fulfilled that was spoken. Come on, man. But see, people don't realize that, or they don't know that. They don't know what it looked like.
Sorry.
Hey, Ak, you hit it right on the head, bro. I'm with it 100%. That's the truth, man. And then there's another sister. I got to say this, and I'm only saying this for help. And we are a nation. I don't care what people think. If they don't think that we a nation, we may not behave or act like it in a whole entirety, but the fact still remains that we are. So as a nation, we must be accountable of each other. Not only accountable, but look out for one another. And what I'm bringing out is not stuff to make people look bad, to make myself look good. That ain't got nothing to do with none of that. I'm talking about helping our people. You got people out here thinking an RFID chip is the mark of the beast. You get what I'm saying? When if you listen to the scripts, it's talk about what, first of all, the beast. What is a beast? You got Daniel had a dream about the 4 beasts. The last beast system we in. That's the ways of them. Their teachings, their ways, their way of doing things is a sign or a mark upon you in your mind, which produces your actions. It ain't got nothing to do with no damn chip.
Right. Now, it goes together. Because if you ain't prepared, if you're not trying to come out of the system, if you're not trying to have your own way to eat, well, you ain't got to depend on the system to feed you. If you live it after this system, trusting in this system, you already marked. You already marked. But that mark has a culmination. The culmination is the taking of that chip. There is no turning back. Because now you done gave your body over to be controlled. This vaccine is a RFID. It's electronic. It's probably going to be able to hook up to the internet. And they seek to merge that with your cells. Ain't no taking it out. You get these micro things in your blood, ain't no taking it out, man. It's not meant to be took out. Because first of all, you consuming abominations, aborted baby fetuses, and all this stuff you taking in your body. It's mixing life and death with mechanics. The life is you. The mechanics is the nanobots, and the death is the aborted baby fetuses. That's the only way it could mold into your flesh. And when it mold, ain't no getting it out. Mm-hmm. It's in there, and it's gonna start to reproduce. That's why ain't no turning back, because it's gonna keep going after that and keep going till it takes over your whole body to where you very well may become a zombie. And you may very well seek death, but it won't find you because you won't be able to die. At least not in a physical sense, because spiritually you already be dead. Robots can't die. They robots. They continue to function like a zombie do. You can walk, you can eat, you can breathe, you can do all that, but you ain't got no spirit in you, no personality, no nefesh. But this is what buying into the system, having the mark, will cause you to buy into, to take upon yourself. You didn't sell your soul. Your soul was already sold because you trusted in this system. You believed in it to have your best interest at heart. You lived after the system. You allowed the system to feed you, to clothe you. You didn't seek the Most High Yah and all His righteousness. You believed in what the heathen gave you.
The Gentiles.
You couldn't depart from these things. Like the rich young man, you was rich. You was rich from the beast system. Okay? The chip or the vaccine, the only people getting the vaccine is people that believe in this mess. You can't get somebody that got a mind to serve y'all to take this stuff.
Right.
Not if they really serving y'all. It don't. How? For what? They made you fear a virus. A person that trusts in the Most High Yah know that 10,000 may die on their right side and 1,000 on their left, but it won't come near them.
Come on up.
It don't go together. So you see those that cry out against the wickedness get a mark of righteousness, and those that are a part of the wickedness get a mark of wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
And destruction come behind them.
Mm-hmm. Come for them. Mm-hmm.
So all these people telling you, because there's people that think, well, as long as I don't get it, I'm gonna be saved. Nigga, if you ain't built in this word, you gonna get it. Because they're gonna be able to frighten you enough. They're gonna be able to turn you. It said those that are not written in the Lamb's book of life all worship the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my sister, brought that out too. Sister Tiffany, she brought that out. I mean, I knew it. I hadn't read it, but she brought it to my remembrance. All those not written in the Lamb's book of life worship the beast. Mm-hmm. If you're not firm in this word, you going.
And just real quick, some clarity about worship. Worship is so many ways of worship. You know, listening and following the instructions of entity is also a form of worship. Whom you yield yourself service to obey, that's whom servant you are, is a form of worship. Obedience, serving someone. We serve the Most High Yah how? By listening and abiding by His word, right? Following His commands and His instructions. That's our worship toward Him. So flip the coin. Boom. They listen and follow the instructions that's given by this beast system. Oh, we got to go get the vaccine. Oh, we got to do this. They said we got to do this. They said. Who report you gonna believe? Look. So, like, just like Daniel and the three Hebrew boys, when they was in Babylon, when they said, when this music come on, everybody got to bow to this statue. Well, the Hebrew boys was like, we ain't doing that. we follow Yah. We listen to Yah. We ain't following Him. We worship Yah. And if Yah deliver us good, when they was faced with about to get thrown into the furnace, you know, if Yah deliver us good, if He don't, good. But I tell you one thing, we ain't fit to bow down to this thing right here. We ain't doing that.
Is more than able to save us.
More than able to save, man.
So, even if He should not.
Right.
I gotta put that thing in all caps.
Yeah.
Even if He should not, we will not bow down before the old king. And they talk straight to the king, not to some messenger. Just like Abraham said his words straight to Nimrod, one of the most powerful men of that time. Said it straight to him. Didn't buckle, didn't tremble at the knees or nothing. Told him straight. That was the zeal of the Most High Yah that came over him.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, a ruach came over him and empowered him to say that, man. And
man,
you got to feel disrespected by wickedness.
Our people be feeling like, well, let me say the people be feeling like they be saying, they'll say one thing, but their hearts is far. They trust and they believe and they love Yah till they face with certain things. Man, if you love Yah and you trust Yah, why is you going down here to this thing to get a shot? You love Yah. Why is you, if you trust Him and you know that He able to protect and save, why is you afraid about what these people got and what they can do and all this old other stuff? You get what I'm saying? The Most High even told the children of Yasha'al when they was faced with nations that was more numerous than them, with armies bigger than them, He said, don't fear these people. Only remember what Yah did to Mitzrayim. Okay, that you might be outgunned, you might be outnumbered, but remember what I did to Mitzrayim, the kingdom of kingdoms at that time. That thing still apply. Y'all ain't changed. Y'all's the one that got that ruled in the affairs of man. He the one that set up kingdoms and kings and take them down. People need to start realizing that. Who is you trusting in? Quit talking, doing too much talk, acting like you trusted in the Most High Yah. These people that's listening, acting like they trust in the Most High Yah, you really not. Because it's showing forth who you trust in by what come out your mouth and what you doing. I trust in the Most High Yah, and you going to go get a vaccine. Talking about COVID. Afraid of some damn COVID. The Most High Yah created everything. Cells and microorganisms and organisms and all these different things are subject to his word.
And too, this whole thing about Jacob's trouble thing, man, I got to keep hitting on this thing. And you know, you're giving these heathens too much power, giving them too much credit. The Most High whole thing is wait on his people to do right. All of his judgments is around them doing right. I'm gonna punish you so that in your captivity you do right. You know what? Don't get judgment when you're doing right.
I'm telling you, you get a righteous judgment reward. Not.
I mean, yeah. But
I get what you're saying, though. I want to say this too, and just for people that be like, that was people back in the day that used to say, "Oh, we got to leave Babylon. We got to leave here. We got to leave here." Well, it's written in the word. If you truly trust the Most High Yah, that when he come, he gonna have these people bring us back. He said, "The people are gonna bring you back. Nations and kings are gonna take you back and give you as an offering to Yah. You ain't got to go nowhere."
Israel is catching hell right now. All them people that said they gonna up and leave and move to Israel, they catching hell right now. Israel is on some, you know, everything you think America gonna be on, Israel on it right now. If you don't got this vaccine, you're not coming in this store. You ain't got this vaccine, you can't travel, you can't do this, you can't do that. Israel doing it right now.
Man, listen, man. They ain't listening, man. Listen. People trying to move outside of what y'all said. Prophecy cannot be, scriptures cannot be broken. It's in the word. Y'all willing? I would have bring it out to the people where y'all said in this word that the people is gonna bring us back. We
That's
can't.
Isaiah, ain't it?
Huh?
That's Isaiah, ain't it?
Yeah. Yes, Isaiah. Yashayahu. They're gonna bring us back.
I want to say it's Isaiah somewhere between 9 and 13.
You don't think these people are listening? These people are listening. Mashiach said it a long time ago. These people are going to know that you're my disciples. How? By the love that you have one for another. When they start seeing the unity and the movement of unifying with the people loving one another, doing what they're supposed to do for each other, then they'll know it's time. Israel, Yashar, the true Yashar is the timeline. So when the fruit start being produced, start budding and being produced, and you start seeing fruit, actions about what y'all said, then time is getting near. It's getting close. Then the Most High said the Most High is going to wave to the nations, and the nations is going to bring his people back. So we got to get our behaviors together right now. You want to go home? That's what you got to do. It's in the word. People ain't. That's why I say people ain't believing, man. They ain't believing the God's report. They think they do. They got a zeal, but not according to knowledge. Man, let's get it right, man. And hooping and hollering ain't gonna get us there. Doing what y'all say do is gonna get us there. Everything got its place. Everything has its place. Obedience.
Right, I think it's Isaiah 11. Hold on. I know it's the shorter tongue of the Egyptian sea.
14 and 2.
No, it's not it. It's not it.
14 and 2, man? What you look up? Let me see. You said I say I'm listening. You said 14 and 2. Let me do some research on that. I just blurted it out. Let me make sure they're correct. Let me see.
It might be. I think it's 13 or 14. It's somewhere in there.
I'm supposed to see. I got to see. Did you read it or did you just look?
Yes, I did.
What did it say? Read it out. Let me hear you.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place in the house of Yahshua.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
She right. 14 and 2. Thank you, baby. 14 and 2.
All right, bring it out, sis. Hello, sis.
It's on the thing right there. 14:2. There you go.
All right.
Let's go for one. Let's go to one. Let's go to one. All the way to one. Let's read one. There you go. For Yahweh.
For Yah will have mercy on Jacob, on Jacob, and will yet choose Yasharal, and set them in their own land.
Mm-hmm.
And the strangers shall be joined with them. All the people that said, strangers can't get in, Israel only. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Yasharal shall possess them in the land of Yah for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Come on now, we know that's a future prophecy. So these people ain't no need for us to try to run nowhere and go nowhere. Do what y'all say do here. Elsewise, he gonna plead with you face to face. He's in the wilderness of the people, right? And he gonna plead with you face to face. Knows that rebel ain't gonna make it. Y'all said the people is gonna bring us home. Is that not saying that in that prophecy? Didn't it say the people shall bring us?
Yeah, that's what it said here on 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place.
Why are they gonna do that? Because maybe they seeing something. Maybe they knowing something. Look, we want peace, and we ain't gonna have peace until they in their own land. Maybe it's gonna dawn on someone, and then someone gonna reach someone else that's in power and say, "Hey, we need to take these people back. We got all this stuff happening to us through judgments. All these judgments is happening. Let's take these people back." Go ahead and read it out.
What?
Where? Read what? 3. Read number 3. Why you say read number 3 like I wasn't hitting on nothing?
No, you were.
Okay, hit number 3.
And it shall come to pass in the day that Yah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. This is Hasatan, the one that's been controlling all the nations, the one that they worship, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yah hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. All the kings of the earth is going to fall down at this point. He who smote the people in wrath with continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. They believe, a lot of people believe this is America. But it's deeper than that, man. It's much deeper. America ain't even the head nation. Rome is really the one who pulls all the strings.
Right.
Rome runs Britain and America. Rome owns a piece of every country. Got land in every country. All their leaders go over and kiss his ring. There is a throne room for Hasatan in the Vatican. So they, in turn, with whatever power they got, they turn around and worship Hasatan, which would be the king of Babylon. Because here it talks about how, he fell, and he's the one that
weakened the nations and stuff,
that had everybody scared and all that. Where is it?
You was up right there.
Okay, here we go. Which art cut down? No. Oh, and they shall speak and say to thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up their thrones, all the kings of the nations. But yeah, man, this is when, the angel comes with a great chain and chains Hasatan and puts him in the pit. and chains them up for 1,000 years. This is the one who he chains up. This is the one world rulership. It's been going on. From every great kingdom after our people fell, he's been at the head of it. Even though he had a face, he had a king that reigned, that king served him. Because they wasn't serving the Most High Yah, so they had to be serving somebody.
We see by the fruit of the tree, like Nimrod in Babel, they worship idols and statues and stuff like that. Well, Abba Yah tells us not to do such, right? We worship him. We follow him. We don't bow down and worship no statues and make no images. We don't even do like what Leviticus speaks on, how setting up a stone in the land to bow down and worship, like how the Muslims do with the Kaaba in Mecca. It's a stone that they say was a meteorite stone that they built a whole shrine for, a whole block for, where they walk around and they kiss that thing. You see what I'm saying? And bend down to that damn stone. And they on the wall, on the Wailing Wall, you know, rocking back and forth and all this old crazy stuff. This is the thing. Abba Yah said he gonna bring us back. Follow prophecy, get into the word, start studying, ask Yah to reveal to you that you may see it according to how Yah meant it to be seen, and stop listening to people all the time. It's cool to listen to people, but it's supposed to be a help to get you on point, right? That's what it's for. It's not for them to be your every food giver. You got to be studying and searching for yourself. Elsewise, it would have been said, study to show thyself approved, a workman that need not to be ashamed to rightly divide the truth, word of truth. It would say, listen to thy moray and everything they say to know the word of truth. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Listen to that preacher. They pass on that business.
Good understanding. That's it. You're still supposed to walk your own walk. They're supposed to be, you know, a guide to guide you to Yah, so then you could in turn walk with Yah yourself.
Facts. That's what a moray is, a guide. That's what a moray is, a guide. Moray means guide. That's what a guide does. He guides you and leads you. He guides you somewhere. You ever had you going on a say for instance, you going to what's the things that you at when you riding on them little trolleys and stuff like that, and you got some kind of, let's say you in a safari. Amusement park, you got a guide to show you what's what and where to go and everything. This is the restroom is right there. If you need to go to the restroom, you can go over here, go down there, and go there. Right there, he guiding you to where stuff is at. This is such and such right here. Oh yes, this is where the lions are and stuff. You go over here and see the lions over here, and you can go over here and see the Gatorade, you know, the gators and stuff over here. He's guiding you to show you what's what. That's what a guide does. That's what a moray is, a guide. People need to know what's up, man, and quit, you know, knocking those that are truly appointed and anointed of Yah. Because you got a gang of people out here that's knocking the true appointed and anointings of Yah because they're unorthodox. They're not according to what people think it should be. It's straight organic. It's real and organic. And it ain't according to some religious type system of practice or religion type setup of how things should go according to what the church world thought and said and all this old stuff. And they take that over here in the Hebrewic way and try to follow that and try to do some modifications to a messed up situation. Try to modify a cup with a hole in it that can't be covered.
Right.
It's crazy, man. Go ahead, huh?
It's an abomination to be doing this stuff. You're going against nature. You're going against how things is intended. When things go against how Yah intended it, it's an abomination. Let's not keep that far from our thoughts, man. Like, that's really a thing. We got to really desire to ask Yah, I want this thing to go how you want it to go. How you want this to go, how I need to be, how my wife need to be, how my kids need to be, how this situation need to go. I want it to go how you want it.
Right.
So I got leeway to do it my own way or whatever. I want that way to be in line with as you would have it to be.
Facts.
And that's gotta be it. That's gotta be the whole of the thing. You know, and when it comes to these doctrines and all this stuff, like, it gotta make sense. But I get how if you didn't understand the fall, because I didn't really have a good understanding about how bad it was, what that meant. We talk about the fall lightly. You know, Jerusalem fell in 70 AD. That's pretty much all. That's all we put on it. We don't go into detail. That's why Josephus was allowed to remain, so he could bring out this. I believe Yah kept him so he could give forth, understandings of things that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for him. If Josephus didn't detail what happened at the fall, we wouldn't know it. And certain stories about the antiquities of the Jews and the wars of the Jews and all this stuff he brought out. He brought a different narrative than what the heathen put out. And if you read it, it coincides with prophecy. And he even gives you precepts. If you read Josephus, he tell you, like, in Deuteronomy, it was written, in Exodus, in this, as the prophet this said, and as the prophet that said. Even all the way up to the New Testament, he give you precepts. He tells us about the Essenes. We didn't know nothing about no Essenes. We think the heathen wrote the Bible. We didn't know it was a group of devout Jews that wrote the New Testament. Many of us didn't know that. To where OT only people come and say Italians wrote the New Testament and all this stuff. They don't even know about the Essenes and who they was. So you got to get an understanding. You got to seek knowledge and seek wisdom so you can put this stuff together and not be held to one particular, mindset that very well, and 9 times out of 10 be wrong, man. People be wrong. Go read Josephus for yourself. Don't go off what me and my brother tell you. You might trust me and my brother, but at the same time, we got a firm foundation because we done read and seen stuff for ourselves. We desire for you to have the same understanding, so you go read and understand for yourself, right, so that you can be confident in what you done heard here today, because it can be confirmed to you.
Right.
And then you can trust in other things we say, and you can go and research them as well. We don't never
That's right.
desire to be the end all because you trust us. That's our problem. We like people because they talk good, because they nice, because they kind, and we just start believing stuff. Not even taking into account that at any point they could go off like Saul did. Y'all forbid we go off, but it's possible. If a person don't endure to the end, if a person allows themselves to be taken by the wiles of Hasatan. That's why you always cover your own back, cover your own thing by researching and seeing a thing for yourself.
Right.
No matter how well intentioned me and my brother is, confirm everything for your own spirit, for your own for your own salvation.
Mm-hmm. Like in school when they say double check your work, people over here want to copy off people's paper and they ain't did no double checking and they fail and then get mad at the person.
Say, don't copy off paper.
Listen, wait. What I'm saying is they'll go to them and be like, man, I failed because what you mean you failed because of me? Man, I copied off your paper. You supposed to be smart and I copied off your paper. I said, did nobody ask you to copy off my paper? You supposed to do your own due diligence.
Right. Ain't no codependence. Ain't no codependence.
Your own research. What you talking about? Sure.
Yeah, man.
It was cold that night. All right. Y'all, man. Y'all for that, man. I appreciate y'all. Me and my brothers asking the people to this is a haba, man. It's kindness being shown, and it's nothing but love, man. All this thing to Yahweh, we need one another, man. Everybody, we know that every individual that the Most High Yah is allowed to be on this earth that's loving him and doing called according to Yah's purpose has something beneficial and prosperous for us as a whole. And we need to unify and come together because we are a body, the body of Mashiach. We're the body of the anointed, right? And we need every bodily function in the body to function. Everybody has bits and pieces that can contribute to the growth and development of us as a people. And the Ruach of Yahweh will use that because we have different minds. Somebody was talking about individual mind. Abba made people to think certain ways, but only in line with what he got going. Because that's going to bring something that y'all need to use over for this purpose. And then this person that's different from this person, Abba got something in place in them for them to come along and bring for the building up of the body. And we all need that, but we got to respect and love one another and each individual office that we have for one another and not stepping and hurting each other's body. If you do that, if the heart go against what the brain says, if the heart doesn't listen to what the brain says and stop pumping, because when the brain tell the heart to keep pumping and don't pump, then the body going to die. Yeah. Everybody got to function according to what the brain, what the Ruach of Yahweh says to do, and that's what needs to be done, point blank, period. I'm not trying to hear nothing else.
Point blank, period. Yeah, man. That's it turned into what it turned into, I guess, because it was meant to, and that's just how it is, man. You ain't seen me and my brother in a while. You ain't went nowhere. We still go hard for this thing. We still love our people and all that, Sometimes you gotta go live life and then come back and strengthen your brothers with what you learned, what you experience, views on life. Sometimes views change. Sometimes they strengthen and get more concrete, and you be of a better benefit sometimes when you take a little break and come back, because you don't want to get into doing stuff just to be doing it. Then it could lose its power. You'd be like, well, it's time to do it. Maybe it's time to chill. It's a time for everything.
Right.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all's will be done. Cause if he urged me to get up and do something, I'm gonna get up and do it. If I don't feel urged, I don't feel moved to do it, then maybe I shouldn't even worry about it. And that's what it's been. I ain't felt urged in the past couple weeks to get up and do something. I ain't did it, and ain't nothing happened behind it. Ain't been nothing go wrong like I, didn't do something I should have did or none of that. But today, when I felt like doing it, see what happened. The earlier thing, it was good. Some good things came out. People got help. Brother got help, and he hopped in on the second one, and we did it. Brought out some things, and hopefully people would, remove feelings and emotions and try to chew the meat and spit out the bone, but you ask me, it's a lot of meat on this bone. It ain't gonna be no fat and whole bunch of bone on this thing. It's gonna be more meat than anything. And just check out what was said, what was read, what was put out there, and consider it, man. But this is what it is. It's been said, so you can't say it ain't.
Right.
It could be a judgment against you for not listening sometime. You might say, well, ain't nobody ever told me. You'd be like, well, you tuned in on a podcast with my servant Brandon and Gayful brought it out, and you got offended because it said something about the women folk, and you tuned off, and you missed your blessing. You missed your Baruch. You're like, oh, but it's too late at this point. Now you got to depart from them. You never knew you because you didn't get your understanding. So, you got to be mindful of stuff, man. And it is what it is. But you got anything else for the people? We 3 hours into this thing, man.
I'm good. I'm straight right now at the moment. Yeah. Y'all will be done, man.
Y'all will be done. This has been a scripture reading / Mark 67 podcast. We just titled it The Straight Way, man. The straight way of Yah, man. Unadulterated, unfiltered. The old paths. Old paths, man. Righteousness, firmness, manliness. What it's all about. But yeah, man. So all praise to the Most High, y'all. Thanks to his son, Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yeah.
Says shalom to the brethren and his 12 tribes.
One nation.
Hallelujah.